Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
What is Path of the Pale Rider anyway? Is it a comic book? No, that's not it. Is it this? What the heck is Path of the Pale Rider, man? There's no way this is right. How about this? I have no idea.
We're gonna rob a bank.
Oh, it's this. What's up, everybody? It's the Tuesday morning. Just kidding. No, it isn't. It's Thursday. What the heck are we doing? Well, if you've watched my show on Tuesday Morning Brew, you know that we interview indie people. We do all sorts of different kinds of panels, and we also do launch parties and countdown parties. I love launch parties. Those are my jam. So I'm so excited that my guest on Tuesday was launching their campaign tonight and needed a home base to launch it from. So we all got together and we said, let's do it. So here we are. We're here on a Thursday night and we're going to talk to Randy again. And this time Dean will be here as well. I'm so excited. And we're going to talk about Cosmonatalya #1. That's it. So that's all I got. Let's bring some people on. All right. And so here, of course, is Randy, who was on my show on Tuesday. Everybody say hello, Randy.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Are you excited?
I'm so excited and very.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, a lot.
I know. It's okay. It's all right. It happens. And but we're here for you, man. Woo! Look at that. I wish you all the best, Senor Randy.
Thank you so much.
Are you a senor? Cron. What's that? Please explain, Brian. Afternoon, Facebook user. And I replied, new phone, who dis? Because I didn't know who that was. Vic, what's up, meatball? That's right. So thanks for coming out tonight on Thursday to watch us launch a new indie comic and start a new path to awesomeness. I'm really excited about this one, you guys. Wayne, I know you guys saw it on Tuesday, but if this is the first time you're seeing it, congratulations, lucky you, because we're going to have fun. So first, everybody, let's talk Randy, and we'll just review a little bit like who you are, where you come from, and then when Dean pops in, we'll bring him in and we'll ask him some really tough questions, and we'll tell him we were talking behind his back just to make him, think twice about coming in late. Yeah. No?
Yep.
Oh, Christy started the meatball thing. It's stuck now, Vic. There is no turning back. Own the meatball. That is all. So, Randy, tell the people who you are and how long you've been in comics.
Sorry. So my name's Randy Nunneley, and I started working in comics sometime around 2006. And I worked just for a couple of years, right up until the Great Recession in 2009, kind of took out a lot of comic companies. And like after that, I kind of took a hiatus too, and spent a decade, with my wife raising my stepsons. And but now they're about grown and out of the house, and I want to get back into it. So here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome because it's like if it's a lifelong passion and you've been wanting to do it, kind of you've had your eye on this project for a long time. It's a great feeling to even have gotten this far. You know what I mean? That the book is basically complete and you're going to take it to Kickstarter. There's a lot of work that happens before that. You know what I mean?
I got my last 2 pages from my colorist, Kimberly. I got them yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, and look who's here. Dean Page. Hello. We'll let you settle in first. Are you there, sir?
Yeah.
Hello. Hey,
Dean.
How's it going?
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yeah, I'm glad that I get the pair of you together now. And so Randy was telling us about how he started in comics and he took a hiatus and now he's back. And that, it's such an accomplishment just to get this far when you work a day job and you have, your responsibilities that kind of take precedence, but to spend all that extra time and effort on your passion project and getting to the point where it's ready to go. That's got to be a great feeling. I'm excited for you guys. It feels really good. Yeah. So we've talked to Randy, a couple times, but Dean, tell us how you got into writing comics. Tell us your origin story.
I mean, I just kind of grew up a fan of comics as a kid and just kind of took to writing in middle school and did it a little bit in high school, and then I guess not necessarily in a good way, but I sort of like grew up, right? Like I kind of put aside those things and focused on other things for a long time. And you hit that stage where, for me, it was that I hit a stage where I was comfortable with that other stuff, where that everything was working, and I finally had some extra headspace and some time to kind of think about, okay, what else do I want to do?
That's
and
interesting.
So it was like, I would love to get back into writing. I would love to actually do a comic. So just kind of started looking around and saw a bunch of different comic creator groups on Facebook and Reddit, and just kind of started seeing who was out there and figuring out, okay, well, I guess I'm getting another 2 jobs to support.
I know. I feel you, man.
Just to support it, just to support it. And that's kind of the hard part, because it's almost like when I decided to do this, I took on 3 extra jobs.
And then the other jobs are really, part-time. Because
and like
comics
I can't
is its own thing. Yeah, and then you have to do your own full-time job, and then you picked up something else.
Yeah, I also like teach guitar on the weekends, and I deliver pizzas a couple nights a week. And I'm a school teacher. Like I work with kids with like emotional behavioral disorders. So that's always draining too. I mean, I love it. Like I wouldn't do anything else. But like every day involves somebody's major trauma, you know what I mean? So like that can be pretty taxing, but and that's kind of why the other jobs are kind of almost nice in a way, but it's just I don't have free time and you start running out of energy.
Yeah. Well, and it's like your main job to me would be emotionally draining. You know what I mean? Where you're dealing with someone else's trauma and so you could see comic book writing as one of 2 things. One, it could be a job, and it could be, I don't have any emotional space for this. But I think you're with me where it's like, this is my out. Right. This is where I want to be. I want to live in this world and create this world from the bottom up and walk around and see what exciting things can happen. And that's kind of like your escape.
Right.
Am I wrong?
Exactly. Like there's that bit where it's like, it's your escape. And like, for me too, as a teacher, it was funny. I had a kid the other day. He was like, what does lecture mean? And I just started laughing. I was like, it's what I do with you guys all the time. Because they're always kind of like ribbing me that like everything's a lesson, like even when I'll get up on like open mic and sing a song to them, I'll like make some message out of it before I start singing, even though I'll sing something like Let It Go. I'll like pretend it's like has this big heavy meaning, and it does, but like so it's kind of like, is he joking or is he serious? And it's like both.
Well, I mean, most music is written from a pretty emotional place. That's why it resonates with people. So yeah, there's usually something behind those words in order for them to be put in, music.
And it can be fun too.
We're totally off topic. I don't know what we're talking about.
with comics, like with Cosmonatalya, like for example, it's such a goofball story and such a goofball comic book. But for someone like me, I can't help but like throw in a sense of like a lesson, or make it almost like a fable or something. Like there's going to be some kind of point. The villain's going to have characteristics that I think people shouldn't have. You know what I mean? And there's always going to be that influence of like, well, here's how I feel about the world, and like that's always going to come into play.
Well, that's what makes a good story. I mean, Randy and I talked about some of those other campaigns you can find on Kickstarter that have no plot whatsoever, but just like naked women. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with there being a market for that. I mean, then again, it doesn't affect me at all.
Right. I mean, it doesn't pretend to be anything other than it is. Thank goodness. Right. But to me, I'm not going to read that. I want the story, right? I can handle some nudity, and I can handle that when it's plot appropriate. If it's just like, look at these boobs, and I'm like, I'm out.
That would be a great title for a comic book.
What? Look
That would
at
be a
these
great
boobs?
title, right there. Just look at these boobs.
That's the sequel to the last one. So,
I'm sure there's more.
you heard it here first, people. I coined it. When they come out with it next month and you see it on Kickstarter, it was all me.
You know, me and Randy were talking and even saying that, like, to some degree, even Star Wars does that, right? Like, you know, you think about right, or like even Padme, how her outfit would get torn.
It's so artfully torn.
Right. You know,
that's Hollywood for you, man.
And I suppose the male equivalent would be, and you don't really see it much. You saw it a lot in the 80s, would be like when the dude's sleeves would get ripped off.
God,
or like
Arnold Schwarzenegger's sleeves were always
Arnold Schwarzenegger, like 80s. Yeah.
Or like, I guess Jason Statham.
I hate Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he's another one that would be like rip. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Dad, can we change channel? I hate this man. I hate
he just rubs me. He never rubbed me right.
I can't. I don't know what about him.
But those Conan movies as a kid always just kind of, they always hit. I don't know why. There was something about the mood of them for me. Something about the mood. And they got me interested in the comics. But as a kid, I couldn't read them. I was like, I have no conception of what's going on.
Right. But the movies,
Conan, though,
movies with Arnold and Bridget, those were fabulous.
Oh, they were cool. They were weird.
Red Sonja.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, as the bad guy, right?
Oh,
the long hair.
He turned into a giant snake or something.
Like the long hair. I was like, who that?
That was weird.
Like, that's James Earl Jones. I'm like, no, it isn't.
So strange.
Yeah, there's a crazy He-Man haircut that he had in that movie.
Yeah, I wish He-Man had just been that.
Yeah,
I saw a picture of Terry Crews as He-Man, and I want that movie so bad.
I do too. Terry Crews is just about anything would be fabulous.
Yeah. He's like, it looks so effortless and like doesn't seem like it's degraded much over time.
Yeah, he looks like he has fun all the time.
He does. He looks like he would be an amazing person to be on set with.
Right.
I would do that in a second.
Yeah, I'd be there for that.
Yeah. So back to your story. Keep you on
track.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, that thing. So this was Randy's concept, but at what point did he bring you in? How early?
Well, I mean, I don't know how long of an idea it's been for him, how old he's been, or how long he's been keeping it, you know. But when I was working on a comic book that I was doing, which was like about it's like a horror western called The Return of Jake Sunrise. And yeah, that'd be awesome. And I wanted to do six issues with 6 different artists and the same colorist, the same letterer. So keep the same crew underneath and just have different artists on top. And
how'd that go?
It was cool because what I did was I found one artist to do just kind of like a concept cover. And I think I had seen Randy do a cover of like a Native American on a horse. And I thought that horse was like pretty amazing. Yeah. What was that called?
It was called a Coney. And as far as I know, it's still in production.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just thought, wow, that's an awesome, like, I need someone who can draw horses and people. Like, that's exactly what I need. So I reached out to him. And then when I started putting the first one together, he was helping me out with the logo. He helped me out by designing the 3D models for it. And then when he was talking about having something written up for another project, we started working on that one together, and he was like, actually, like, let's do this other one first, because this one's a little bit more like carefree. We can just kind of goof around with it. It's nothing that I'm like seriously invested in as far as like what I want for it, you know. And he said, kind of like take it and kind of try to run with it. And he'd already had all the issues plotted out. The whole story was plotted out.
Here you go. That's all you were like, okay. And
especially when the hard work was done, he had like the 9 acts already planned out, like 3 acts for each issue. And so I kind of just could come in and be like, all right, well,
Randy, I did not know you were that organized of an artist. Usually artists are like, I have this general idea of what I think should happen.
I mean, I don't feel like it was as well put together as he's making out. But
I mean,
there was a lot of
you had a plan for it is even amazing, because usually from my experience, and I'm not going to name names, but I have talked to people about their projects, and it's like their first issue was good, and then the second issue it becomes very much about the art and less about the story, and it kind of trails off, and you're like kind of confused about partway through, and then it's like, where are you going from here? And they're like, I have no clue.
Yep. Like the guts of our story, like we don't even get into until the second issue.
Right.
The really important stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, you're not gonna give away you can't give the car away with the first issue. You can't.
No.
Right. And it's hard because there's a party that worries there's not going to be a second issue.
But there will be.
Right. So it's a commitment, it's a commitment, especially on the artists end, and the colorists to have to kind of sit down, and that's a lot of time they're going to be spending working on it, and because like you said, they can't, it's not enough job security. Even if it did pay enough to pay the bills, it's still not job security. Nope. So how could you really do that if you have a mortgage or even rent, because I don't know how people do that kind of stuff and go freewheel like that. I mean, I'm a suburban kid. I always got to have get into like stable source.
I think people get into trying to do like 3, 4, 5 titles at a time, and then you're neck deep in that whole comics broke me thread, right?
Yeah. My artist Marco DeFillo does 3 books. He does my book. He just picked up he got picked up by a different publisher, and they Kickstarter. And then he got picked up on a third one with a buddy of his. So he rotates through the 3. And we just hope and pray that we don't line up. You know what I mean?
Right.
At least one of them, like, I can communicate with him, and I'm like, okay, this is when I'm planning to Kickstarter. When are you planning to Kickstarter? You know what I mean? So that way we're not like, hey, Marco, we need like 80 pages of work on both of our stuff in a month. Like, go, right? We don't want to do that to him, but we want to make sure like we can spread it out. It's great job security for him if it's like, okay, she's Kickstarting right now. I'm working on this other guy's project. And when she's done Kickstarting and her money comes in, I'm starting on the next one. But then there's this third one that's like a wild card. So we never know when that one's coming in.
Yeah, the guy that I used for the first issue of Jake Sunrise, I actually got to know the writer for the other book he was working on. Which is Phelan Wood. It's more like a fantasy, like a medieval fantasy sort of story. Yeah. And it's getting published through Odyssey. And we would communicate because it was like we both cared enough about like the person we're working with, to be like, hey, we don't want to burn them out.
Right.
And also we want to have realistic expectations. Like we don't want to just be like, when's the next page is coming? I hate that. It's like so like if you're an artist out there and you want to work with people, one of the biggest keys is just communicate. People Absolutely. Are understanding. You could be 100%. Like, hey, I got this going on. Like, don't be ashamed and like just go silent. Like tell them, communicate and be like, I got this going on and this going on. So I'm sorry. I said I could do it by then, but things came up and I can't. So now it's this time. And it's like, well, that kind of screws me on this. Okay.
It's such a huge pride point as an artist to get your things turned in on time that when you are late, you just want to hide.
Right. But if you communicate, like my artist is great at communicating too, where he's like, hey, I'm getting for Dallas Fan Expo. I'm working on my, stuff that I'm going to be selling at my table. Okay.
Right.
That's all I needed to hear. It happens once a year. And I know that he'll be done before deadline because he'll stay up until 3 a.m. and text me pages. Here's the next page, Laurie. I'm like, did you sleep last night, dude? Like, go to bed. Cracks me up. He's a young man, so he can do stuff like that. I'm not.
Yeah, right. It's a young man's game.
Yeah, communication is like so important, right?
It is.
So then you two are working on this together, and then Randy, you brought in a colorist and a flatterer. So now there's 4 of you working on this all together. That's quite a
I wanted to color it. I wanted to color it myself, but I also wanted to be done by 2025. So
you're like, and I also want to eat with my family.
Right? Yeah. I missed them.
Yeah.
Right.
I know that feeling. My kids are like, where's mommy? I'm like, I'm Kickstartering. I'm on a podcast. Like
them in my bed. And I hope to see one or the other soon. It's been busy.
Right.
And I was actually, there was a part of me that was kind of glad that he decided not to, because I was like, I've been working with this flatter on all the other stuff. Because also when I was doing my other comic, I wanted to do the first 10 pages of the first 4 issues at the same time. just to kind of have the first act there. So I was working with 4 artists at the same time on the first 10 pages, pretty much.
Ooh, that's
for 4
ambitious.
issues. Yeah, it was probably a mistake, and I bet the colorist was like hating me because he was doing all of them. But at the same time, I think that's kind of fun for a colorist because they get to mess with different styles and different artists. And probably not though.
He was like, "This is 40 pages."
But we had this flatter that he's just solid, and the main thing was like he's a nice guy that's good at communicating. Hafid's awesome, you know. So like,
yeah.
He's a young guy too out in Indonesia, and he's just like, how much you need? And he's got another guy that he works with too. And he's just like, when do you need to buy? You know, and he'll let you know, hey, I need off for this period for this holiday season. I'm just going to be swamped with family. I can't do it. And just kind of gives you a heads up. And that communication is just such an important part, especially if you're doing it with people online.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure it's the same in person, but like if you're online,
still.
Yeah,
it's like you're all just floating around.
I mean, technically, most of it's online anyway, because even though you could be like Marco and I are still close, but we don't see each other. What's, you know,
right.
Just send me the things.
Exactly. You're right.
You don't need to drive over. It's digital. No. Send it to me.
Yep. You're just going to, what are you going to do? Pull it up on a computer in front of me?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So this Cosmonatalya, I love the name. Let's pitch it to the people. Who wants to pitch it?
All right, so Cosmonatalya is a story about a Ukrainian-born Soviet-era cosmonaut who gets launched onto a mission that's going to take her like decades to arrive at the recently discovered planet X. And like throughout her journey, you know, things kept moving back home at Earth. And she's supposed to arrive in 1994. But in 1991, the Soviet Union collapses, and there's nobody at the other end of mission control to wake her up out of cryo. So she just goes into orbit and stays there until about the year 2024, when she's finally woken up, you know, by the arrival of a much more modern American spacecraft. And that's kind of where the fun starts.
Fun. That's so many things can happen in that. I love this cover too. Journey to Planet X. And we were talking about this cover, how she's flying in space and there's a dude just floating out there like, ooh. And I was like, I love it. I'm a big horror fan. And like my comic book has undead and zombies and stuff in it. So when I saw this, I was like, ooh, zombies in space. I love it, you know? But the color is gorgeous. You know, I love how she's, you know, the warm colors and everything else is kind of cold colors and she's in space, and how the title, you know, really matches her. So beautiful work.
Thank you. Yeah, we talked about it a couple of days.
You did that whole thing yourself, didn't you? Everything, the colors, the letters.
Yeah. Somebody else made the picture books logo.
I was cracking up because we were going through all the variant covers, and I was like, and who's this one by? And he was like, I did that one. And I'm like, and this one, who did this one? He was like, I did this one too. And I'm like, you're supposed to have other people do your variant covers, man. He's like, no, I did them all. He's like, except for this one. Someone did this one. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I couldn't find a lot of people that were willing to work in my $4 budget that I had at the time. So.
You got to find people that want to do work for work. That's how it goes, man. You got to find people that are cool and actually can, you know, be legit and do work for work, because it's like, here, I made a cover for you. We're going to do a cover for mine. They're like, yeah, next year. And you're like,
yeah,
that doesn't help me.
While I was making this book, like I didn't really know anybody yet. I feel like I've met so many people in about the last 72 hours that the next one will be a lot easier, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes, man. The first time I kickstarted, I knew nobody. And then like by the time I had a second one, I had a podcast. I was like, it just, you join all the groups, you talk to all the people, and like indie people are the greatest, because we all struggle through the same thing, and you know, we're each other's support system. So
it's just one of the most amazing groups of people I've ever talked to, you know.
Danger chicken.
Yes.
There's got to be, I think you sent a bigger one. Oh, here's one of those variant covers. Va va voom. That one. You should have had it be cover D, not cover B. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would have been great. I missed
Cover
that one.
double D's.
Covered double
Right.
D.
And with this picture is when I started wondering, wait a minute. I teach students that like reptiles like don't have milk.
Shut your face, Steve.
Not on this
Shut it right
planet.
now.
When that one's hungry.
We don't talk about it.
I was like, what are never mind, doesn't matter.
It's a comic. Everything
Exactly.
can have food.
That's the whole point. Because like I always try to envision this like even He-Man, when you were mentioning it before, I was like, yeah, I want to do He-Man outer space. Like I want to do Flash Gordon outer space. Like I don't really want to do the Expanse outer space. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
No, I do
that
too.
stuff's heavy.
I want to do like some like hard sci-fi someday because I love that stuff.
That stuff's
too.
crazy. So much
That's not-
research, though. I think that's why,
It is.
I think this
Oh,
is
yeah,
a lazy
yeah, yeah.
part of me that's just like, oh, so much research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
spent-
So,
Inordinate
Dean,
amounts of time.
I
on-
read a Western apocalypse series, right? And I've been asked to do some short stories for some other groups, and one of them is space related. So I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to do all sorts of research. I'm like, this isn't in my like Google history where I'm like blowing things up and researching blah 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 apocalypse. I'm like, I'm gonna have to research space now. I'm like, I'm sure the NSA is looking at my search history like, what the hell?
You do Path of the Pale Rider, don't you?
Yes.
And when I saw your name, I was like, I recognize that name. I was like, I have to see who that is. I was like, that's right. Because when I was looking for artists, I saw the artist you had, and I was like, oh, that's pretty much it. And I was like, but it's kind of too on the nose. Like, would he want to be doing two books that were kind of like, and they're totally different because yours is more like a Western. It's not like in the past.
Right.
Right.
It's in the future.
Right.
Future
And
Western.
I was like, but I don't know if he would even want to do like two of those kinds of books at the same time where there's going to be horses and cowboys and stuff. It'd be kind of a little bit like, you might start getting pigeonholed in your art.
The other book that he does is called Mauka, and it's apocalypse on Hawaii, on the island of Oahu. So he loves apocalypse. He just
There's a lot of genres you could explore within that.
Right. It just cracks me up. I saw his work on Mauka, which he started years ago, and then same thing. They took a hiatus and nothing ever happened. And then his buddy King Eddie was like, "We're gonna do Mauka," and Marco was like, "Okay." It was really weird for him though, because he did those pages, like the first 10 pages he did 2 years ago, and his art style, of course, has developed and changed in the last 2 years. So now he's doing, the other 14 pages, and it looks way different. So he's like,
not going to go back and have to redo those.
He had to go back and touch them up. Yeah, he had to. But isn't that a weird concept where it's like, it's kind of like, remember in Lord of the Rings when they were filming Frodo and Sam going up Mount Doom, and they had like their own little, their close-up shots, and they were 2 years apart. It was weird. Like they shot.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Because I'm a big fat nerd.
No, that's cool.
And I watch all of the extras for how they filmed Lord of the Rings. I have the extended one that's like 4 hours long each one. It's great.
I like that. I mean, I've seen all the extended ones. I was like, man, what is that? Like that's a 9-hour trek or something like that. It could be even more.
I think it was 12 hours.
12 hours. Yeah. Because they're like 4 hours each.
Yeah.
But it's actually better because
right?
Are they?
For some reason, I guess because they're trying to move the story forward, they cut out everything except the walking. So like people complain that like, Lord of the Rings is all just walking. And it's because they had to get you through the story, and it's actually more than 3 movies.
Yeah. But they had some cool stuff in the extras. Like they had Eowyn talking to Aragorn and about how old he really is, because he's like 80 something. Real, because he has the blood of Numenor, right? So he's like, he ages closer to an elf than a human. So her dad was.
That's right. I remember him. I think there's one throwaway line. I think there's a throwaway line in like the theatrical
in the real
release.
Movies.
Yeah,
but it's like you most everybody missed it. But they have like a full-on conversation where she was like, I was talking to my dad, and he said that you were there doing a battle with my grandpa, and he was a little boy. That's not possible. And he was like, yeah, he's got a good memory. It's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm about 80 something. She's like, that's not possible. He's like, yep. Tell me about this picture.
So this is the opening panel for the book, and I think the church back there is how everybody knows Moscow, right?
The Kremlin, right?
Yeah, and you get the I forget what those guys are called, but that's like I had to look up the uniform to find out what those guys are called. They're like the Kremlin Guard.
Was that the Stasi?
Maybe I can't remember, but like I wanted him to look like serious, but kind of
bored,
like serious, but maybe a little less disciplined than he should be.
I was like, he is smoking. Is this you? Is this you? If you were
me, probably. If they let me work outside, I'd do it all the
time. Just kidding. But I love the colors on this. That's what your eye is drawn to. You know what I mean? The smoke kind of takes your eye up, but the yellow is what everybody focuses on. So we start with the dude, and then it's like, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That's what it would look like at night, you know, at dusk.
Yeah, I love the colors on that panel.
We're going to get some greens.
And I love this little guy. This poor dude. This is like, dude? This is the often abused doctor who works for the, evil villain of the story. And he's not necessarily a good guy himself, obviously, but he's also, he's got his arm up in a sling. He's got scars on his face. He's just, and he's just kind of a mess, but he's also, as a result of that, he's almost more twisted in some ways.
Oh yeah, he's a creep, but kind of a weirdly sympathetic creep.
So people, we're going to get babes in space. There are more babes in space with the Americans. We have aliens, like aliens that, okay, we have this guy. And then, of course, we have aliens on a planet. These ladies.
The reptilians.
And then I kind of talked about we have giant dinosaurs with feathers that the computer calls danger chickens.
Yes.
So that's just your logo. I went too far. I was like, I can't remember if there was one in here. Nope, that's it. We'll have to go back to the other page. Let me stop that screen. I push all the buttons. That's my problem.
Yeah, so I mean, in a lot of ways, if anyone's seen the old Mario live action movie, they might have a sense of sort of where the story's going. It's got
like those are Goombas. Are they gonna sing?
Yeah, those are the Goombas.
They're gonna sing in the elevator.
There's gonna be a Toad-like character later, like Toad,
like a mushroom.
Maybe Princess Natalia could be she's Princess Natalia, right? I just said that. So
yeah, I mean, I don't.
She's the princess.
I don't feel like she's going to be the damsel, though.
She's not really the damsel, though, so that doesn't work. Unless Monica could be Mario, because their names both start with M. Oh. No, but there's definitely going to be some other weird creatures. There's going to be like sentient, psychedelic mushroom spore characters.
Yeah. I love it. I just can't wait for all the cool stuff that's coming. It's going to be so fun. So this is the preview of what is coming, people. So this is not live yet, but in about 20 minutes, I think Randy's going to push the button.
Push the button.
His heart's going to be in his throat, but he's going to push the button. Did you add some bigger tears before we came back? Let's see.
Just a couple.
Oh, nice. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm shopping. So let me play the video for you guys in the chat and watching, so hold on. Here we go.
Randy.
What?
You got one thing you need to do right now.
Hold on, I gotta push the button.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
One thing you need to do, like 20 minutes before your launch, you need to go into your Kickstarter and do an update. So that all those people that signed up get an update right now saying, we're about to go live.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Okay.
You can't update the Kickstarter until it's live.
I think you could.
You got to have an email list, right?
I don't.
He's brand new. He doesn't have an email list. Go share it.
I can see how many followers I got, but that's it.
Share it. Share this.
That's true.
Procure that email list that
if you have an email list, email them.
Yeah.
Email them.
As soon as you go live, it's going to send an automated email to everybody.
It
But
does.
follow
It
up with
does.
a personalized one that's from you, not from Kickstarter. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Talk to your people.
That's a good idea.
Hey, play that thing.
I was like, now I'm gonna start it over. What the heck?
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Do you remember your dreams?
Cool. That's cool, my friends.
There it is. That video got, I think, updated since last time we played it too.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Q. He might throw that up again, so be prepared. Randy.
I did not see it, actually.
Q showed up and
right.
That was like,
meme.
ever see something so stupid you just question your existence? And I was like, he doesn't know what that means.
Yeah, I was
Randy
like, you mean me?
What? It's like, what did I do? It was like, you're fine. See, I was like, don't confuse the guys.
I'll be prepared for that now if I see it, though.
Right. I was like, you might see it again. Q is here.
Thank
Yeah, awesome trailer. I usually have some shenanigans in my trailer where I get hit by a car or I have a bloody nose or something. That's fun.
I crack up every time I've seen that.
Kind of my shtick. Yeah. Do you laugh at I saw you laugh the first time when you saw me like get run over by the car? I was like, haha, I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good trailer. I like it.
Thanks. All right. So Cosmonatalya. Here you are, space fans. Buckle up. We got a wild ride here. And Dean, I was cracking up reading this the other day because I was like, attractive astronaut, comic cosmonaut, say spacefaring Soviet, ravishing rocketeer, because I could hear it playing in my head like an old-time radio show for sure.
Nailed it.
So I get it. The story so far, look at this beautiful art. Dang. Follows our lovely Soviet-era hero on a mission to discover and explore this elusive Planet X for the glory of the motherland. And beautiful art. Here we are. Here's some interior pages. And we were talking about how just amazing this is with all the colors and all the things that are going on, but it works. Like all the panels, it's supposed to be confusing because that's what she's waking up to, right? Pure confusion. And that the computer, like the computer is talking, it's very evident that it's the computer, with the bright green screen that you're reading, especially back in the 80s. Well, this is the 60s, but
DOS.
we're on Apple DOS. Yeah, everything was green.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's how I started with computers.
Yeah,
it's a really busy panel, and like Kimberly's color palette that she picks for these spacecraft interiors, like they really like bring everything together where they might have been really garish and loud, if it wasn't for that tightly controlled color palette she used.
Yeah, she does a really good job, man. And it's like with the red lights flashing, so you have the cool and the warm colors kind of clashing and all the confusion with the panels overlapping. It's like you can definitely feel like she just woke up and like, what the F?
And one thing when I was working with the stories, I was like, we need more characters in this.
Yeah.
And so the computer becomes a character.
Yes.
The computer's a character in the story.
There's a character. That's awesome.
And so that's kind of how we've started to build it out. And I don't know if you've ever seen like Red Dwarf or anything like that, but sometimes where they end up aren't really where they started.
I watched the first episode of that yesterday.
It's a weird show.
Really?
I am not lying. I just watched the first episode of Red Dwarf yesterday.
It's nutty. I love that show.
It's on, I don't remember, Tubi or Hulu or one of them. I don't remember. But yeah, I was like, somebody said something about it on Twitter, so I went and checked it out. You know, giggled a little bit. You know, it's cute. It's funny. You
know, like they got a character who's a cat, but he's a human. And and how to explain that is that like that ship went into, I think if I'm probably gonna like butcher it, it's like the ship was in stasis for millions of years, right? Yeah. Millions of years. And these cats evolved into people that were on the ship.
Cats evolved into people. So is the cat that became a person?
Dude's got fangs and all that, right?
Oh yeah, and like this pimp in costume.
But but he's like a black dude pimp. Like he's a cat. Yo, cat.
Yeah.
What's up, cat?
I don't remember why he's the only one. That part I don't remember.
I think he evolved from the ship's cat. Like there was only one cat.
Yeah, there was one cat.
It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't, no, but
that's why I was like, Dean, explain why he's a human now. Why?
It was pretty funny, Lister. It's pretty funny.
But at the end of the day, it's just like it's the same as like the comic strip Garfield. Like it's just one guy on a ship, but there's a cast of characters. One's a cat, one's like a computer. Yeah, a hologram, a solid hologram or something.
Right.
Of somebody that he couldn't stand, actually.
Right. It was so like he's trapped in hell.
The only way that you know that there's a hologram is because he's got like an H on his head.
Right. It's a solid hologram. That's such a stupid concept. Like, okay, is it still a hologram then?
What is the bonus of being a hologram then?
The
hologram evolved to be human, people.
Yeah, it was
the hologram's name all by itself.
Budget.
Right.
Is the hologram's name all by itself is a slew of jokes.
What's his name?
Rimmer.
Oh God. And the only guy on the ship who lives or something was in cryostasis. He was like the janitor.
Yeah, the dumb guy. Stupid Lister the stupid or
something. Wasn't Lister like? Wasn't he like?
He's left. He's the only one left
during the event. That's why he's the only survivor.
Oh right, he got locked up for something.
Yeah, locked up in something and put in station.
Yeah, drunk and locked up or something. I can't remember. It's been a while, but
it was funny, man. I'm gonna watch that. It was worth the time spent. Hard to say about TV shows nowadays, but that was
right.
Well, like I like to try to write
like
stories.
12 seasons of that, isn't there?
Oh yeah,
that show went on forever.
Yeah,
and they brought it back later too. I think they did like a revival for a while.
When did this come out?
It's a BBC thing.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It's pretty old.
So it was like big, and it was big in England.
It's one of them shows they'd never get away with now.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Not with the cat, for sure.
But like I like the idea of just playing with realities because like even my western's not like real, and like I'm not really huge on like, and I do like stuff that has lore and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I more want to just like play around with like weird ideas. Like that's kind of just what I feel like doing. I don't even know if necessarily that's my writing is the type of writing I would like to read. It's just the type of writing. It's just the type of writing I like to write.
Get it out.
It's the kind of things I like to think about, So kind of when I do it, it's more like, well, what would I like to happen? This could be fun. And then every once in a while, there's something where like, I think people will like this, so I'll put it in there. But I think if you do it like that too much, it comes off as disingenuous.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just try to put stuff in there where I'm like, I want this in there.
I gotta step away for 1 second.
Sure.
I'm gonna mute the mic. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, the story has to breathe. It has to grow and live on its own. It has,
I get what you're saying. Like, if you're goofy, you still have to have a plot and you have to have poignant moments. Otherwise, you go too far. And it's the same thing on the opposite too. Like, you have like a dark story and it's dark all the time, it's just really dragging you. You still have to have those funny moments. You have to have that balance.
It has to feel like the human experience,
right?
No matter what it is. Like I just watched. It's old. I'm sure people have seen it. It's called Kit Bull. It's this like 8-minute little short cartoon.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I watched it last night and it was insanely moving. As a grown ass man watching a cartoon with like a little alley kitten and a pit bull.
Yeah.
And it's so short. I was like, that's such incredible writing and just everything from how the cat moved. It was just so amazingly put together. And it was a human story. You know what I mean?
So many things where like can elicit human emotion in a very short time. That's great. Oh, there's a puppy.
Yeah,
especially
the noisy guy.
He looks happy.
Oh.
He says, "You keep petting me, and I will be moral support." Good boy.
Yeah, that is my my noisemaker there.
Noisemaker, that's okay. You are forgiven.
I was down here a minute ago and I had pizza on the plate. He checked out as soon as I put the plate away.
Was he putting his face in your lap again? Like,
oh yeah, right there. I was like, dude, come on, I'm trying to eat. He's like, right, just looking up at me with them pup dog, husky, white eyes, you know. He's like, come on.
It's like, I would share with you. You're like, I don't want to eat your food.
No, he really wouldn't. That's the problem.
No, he wouldn't. Not in his, he would run. He wouldn't eat that pizza ever again. He's gone.
If I had to rely on
danger chicken
to eat, I'd be in trouble.
Yes, danger chickens, people. Look.
Yeah.
Crack.
You're so cool looking. It's such a cool design.
Yeah.
So what's
what's
happened there is you what now?
Randy, you're going to model those too?
I wasn't intending to. I mean, do I need to?
Now you are.
Danger chicken minis.
Are you going to make plushies out of those?
I don't know about plushies, man. Just minis. He has a resin 3D printer, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Here you go. I'm telling you, the dog or these danger chickens, people are gonna latch on and be like, "We love them."
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get it done in time for launch.
What's that? What?
I don't think I'll get it done in time for launch.
No, not this campaign, dude. No, but yeah, I guarantee you, people.
Next time around, yeah.
By fulfillment, though.
Huh?
I said, what about by fulfillment?
No, don't.
He's saying by the end of the campaign.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The time you have to actually send stuff out, which you haven't done by then, because that's what matters.
Maybe.
If you could have it done by then you get to throw it on your campaign and sell a few little minis, little dragon.
I watched a video a couple days ago that made me think that I probably won't have time.
We could even do some what about like some chibi danger chickens? We could do some chibi danger chicken keychains.
That'd be cool.
There you go.
That would be cool. That's the other thing is you could pay someone else to do it. That's the thing with merch is you could do it yourself and spend all the time, or you can pay someone else to do it. I mean,
which takes time to earn the money, so it's like
it's one or the other.
Decisions. And some cool things I've seen for Kickstarters. I don't know if anyone heard of Outwash Onslaught. That was like a cool one-shot book. And what drew me to it was like from the perspective of like, imagine if it was like Friday the 13th, but from the perspective of Jason. And so I was like, okay, cool, I'll check that out. And that came with some cool merch. It came with a cool keychain, a coaster. That was kind of cool. I thought coasters. I was like, okay, I hadn't thought of that. So there's so many different options if anyone's thinking of doing Kickstarters of like what you can do. And the best way to do is just see what other people are doing.
Magnets, stickers, bottle openers. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Man.
Yeah. Bottle openers is cool. What is that? Oh, that's cool. I remember seeing that. Yeah, you have a Funko Pop. It's invisible. The invisible Funko Pop.
There it is.
Nice. That is cool.
I'm still waiting on my bear. The bears take a while. And I talked to the sculptor and they had to make more bears for my campaign. So they're like, your bear has to wait. And I'm like, man. I was like, that's okay. Get the backers first and then get mine. And then we have a new one, the drunk guy, the Dwayne Fink. And then I just
Laurie, is that a gigantic beanbag?
It is.
Awesome. I love those things.
My 3D printer is right on the other side. So sometimes I'll start it too late and I don't want to leave it on all night baking away. So I'll just pass out on the beanbag and it plays music when it's done. So it wakes me up to turn it off. Because I'm 3D printing containers for the hot sauce. So I have Path of the Pale. Look, it's Path of the Pale
hot sauce.
sauce.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
With my bear on it.
Nice.
So free samples of hot sauce. This is the one that Chris Brown made, but I made my own batch and it's hotter than his.
Still not hot enough. Oh,
I don't know what you want, sir. Do you want to bleed from your gums?
dude, that hot mustard had 9 of those Carolina Reapers.
I like to actually taste my
7
food. I like the
bottles.
hot sauce to enhance the
It
flavor,
was
not
honey
like
mustard. You could
destroy.
taste the
I like
honey
my
mustard.
tongue
It
to
was
be.
just hot. It was good.
Nah, it's too hot. Too
That's
I
hot.
was wondering what Laurie was
It's
about to
not
say
taste
right
like
before she auto-corrected right there.
Bleed out your.
What?
Get out your gum. Because let's be honest, it burns out that way too. You don't want to do that. Of course, here's all the beautiful variant covers that are coming. So we have, of course, we have a B cover that also has the naughty version available. See here, the naughty cover. And this is cover C, which is, what's this character's name? Monica?
Monica. That's Monica Harlow.
More space eye candy American version from Texas, right? Monica
Right.
is.
That
Go
cover's
ahead.
in progress, so it's not finished.
Right. I think, yeah, people, that's not done. I mean, based off of what your other covers look like, it's not done. Right. But she got the big guns because she's from Texas.
That's right.
You sent me a thing.
America.
Monica is a Texas-born American who grew up on a ranch breaking and training horses
Right.
just a few miles outside of Houston. And she's a complicated person with liberal tendencies rubbing against conservative upbringing. And she likes guns because Texas, which happens to be where I'm from. So I get it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out in Jersey, but I lived in Colorado for a while. I visited a buddy down in Austin once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Austin's kind of its own animal. It's way different than everything else.
Absolutely.
Like,
I spent a day in Dallas though.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
giant
That's
city.
more like
It's a
where we
giant
are.
city.
There's a lot of transplants in Dallas area because there's a lot of like corporate headquarters there. And that's actually why we're there. We actually came to Texas in 2019 from Michigan, where Pops is. So Pops and I are both from Michigan, but
I am not from Michigan. I live in Michigan.
I'm sorry. You have an origin story too. It's Minnesota, correct?
Yes. And there's nothing special about it.
No, there's like land and corn and no people.
Like
there's like
lakes.
nobody actually lives there.
Lakes, lots of lakes.
Just lots of
That
lakes.
sounds beautiful though. No?
Michigan's the same way. It's really open and there's a lot of lakes and stuff. It's
There's 3 of them I can throw stones at from where we live, and I mean like good sized lakes, not little teeny ones.
Mhm.
3 of them that I can throw a rock at.
We went to Kensington one day while we were there, and we saw the eagle's nest. There's a bald eagle that lives right off the water. They do like pontoon boat rides. And they take
that's so
people
cool.
on the lake, and they take you up to the thing. He wasn't in the nest, but we saw him like fly over later when we got off the boat. So it was cool. Bald eagles. America.
There's one that rolls the river by the Little League field.
Look what he can do, man. Look at these 5-inch Natalia minibus.
They're pretty impressive.
Yeah. There you go. Make your chicken.
Randy.
Make your little tiny chicken.
I just downloaded Blender so I could learn how to do this because
You got to make the donut.
God, that's what Allison said too. I was talking with Allison, and she was like, "Go to YouTube, go look up the donut, and it'll teach you
Delete
how
the
to use
cube
Blender."
and make the donut.
All right, I gotta do it. I gotta make the donut, people.
Yeah, those 2 things. If you learn Blender, those 2 things will start being funnier to you. Delete the cube and make the donut.
It's already funny to me just because 2 people today have told me to go make the donut. And I was like,
that's everybody's first like baby steps in Blender is the donut tutorial.
do the donut.
And it really helps?
It does. It covers all the basics.
That's what she said too. That's what she said.
Yeah. And it's like a super old tutorial too. It's like multiple versions ago, but it's still helpful.
Oh, look what time it is, guys.
Oh no.
Hit the button, somebody.
Hit the button.
Dum dum.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna remove this.
I know. I just got a message that because I just put out my promo or my pre-launch for my Western, and I was telling everyone about this one.
Yes.
And they said the links weren't working. So
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm pressing it right now.
Dum.
Okay. Congratulations, it's live.
Woo woo!
It's up there.
Boom, boom.
And let the battle begin.
And now we wait.
Now we wait. Link is pinned to the top of the YouTube chat, my YouTube chat.
Oh, well then why did I share this page? Remove.
And that link is working because I just went there.
I don't know what I'm doing. I push all the buttons. I was like, this isn't right.
Yeah. Wait, time just got away from me there.
I mean, when you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
Cosmonatalya.
And how many pages is this?
It's 26 pages. I'm hoping we can get up to that first stretch goal because I would really like to add the 6 more.
It'd be really fun because you don't really get any of Monica in the first one. So it'd be really nice.
Yeah. To get at least a little tease, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Pops, will you put it up there, man?
Will I put it up there, man?
Just cancel that. I'm just pushing all the fucking wrong buttons. Excuse my French.
Oh, did you just say what I thought you said?
Nope. Nope.
I didn't hear anything.
Here we go.
There it is.
Start it off, people. Let's go. Do you have the live links? Let's share the live link.
You want what? There you go. The link is now right there in the chat. Right there.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Hill folks. Yeah, Hill folks. What's up?
So yeah, so I do have a post update button now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Update. Tell everybody we are live. We are live. We're hanging out on the Madness Comic Network. Come check us out and back this book.
All right, I'm typing as we speak.
Get over here.
Link to both the campaign and the show. People to come out here and tell us all that stuff.
Let's see, how can I get this link over?
Now, what was the goal here? The goal. Come on, mouse. Goal is 2,000, yo, and that's what's the stretch goal number for the add-on of pages?
Just trying to get to 3 for the add-on.
Okay, because people like add-on of pages. I promise you that. You got one. Backer number 1. Go on. There you go. That's how you do it. It has begun.
Same way.
I know. Go shopping, people. Let's look at those tiers again. We were supposed to do that before we launched, but we were too busy talking about.
Yeah, we talked about it. That hour went quick, boy.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
All right, so let's run through the whole thing now. Go ahead. I'll start here, and you can just give everybody the whole rundown.
He's talking to you guys, not me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm writing an email.
Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, wait. So, Dean, you're up.
Hold on.
All right. So I'm
Easier.
looking at it over here on my computer. So up at tier 1, just for the low price of $5, you can get just a high quality PDF with the cover, 2 pages of additional bonus content.
Uh-oh.
That has the original cover. Oh my God.
Sorry, the dog. He's like, he's out.
Got camera shy.
He bailed.
No, he's not camera shy at all. No.
He was like,
he realized there was no pizza to be had.
There was no pizza.
No pizza to
It's
be
like,
had.
Mouth.
Pizza time? Nope, I'm out. Yeah, but if you
Oh,
put
the
$10,
true agony begins. Here we go.
$10 is still digital, but you can get either the clean or the naughty version. But if you get the clean version, you get 4 covers. But if you get the naughty version, you get all 5. So it's the same price. It just depends on which you prefer. Then once you get up to 15, that's once you get a physical copy. It's at tier 4. Tier 5 up there, that'll get you a copy with the for the naughty version. And there are not just the covers are different. The internal pages, once you get to once you're getting the naughty version, it comes the inside's different too.
The inside is naughty too.
Yeah, so it's not just the cover.
Everywhere.
So there's two different versions of the first printing of this book.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have?
So I think that's really cool because I don't see that very often.
Do what now?
Do you have a tier where you can get both?
I think if you get the naughty version, the naughty physical one, you can add on any of the other ones.
Okay, I was just gonna say you might want to make a tier where they get both and maybe discount it just a little bit and get them to just back both on one tier.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Because you're offering. Look, it's a first printing of a book with 2 different printings.
That does sound like a good idea.
It's kind of unique.
I had so many people tell me to like back off of the tiers. Like I had too many tiers, and I have other people tell me there's like not enough tiers. You need more tiers.
Well, there is the naughty collector tier at 75 where you get all the covers and you get the mini bust and you get that one too.
The physical,
and that's 75.
Is the mini bust not suitable for work too?
Ooh.
I have what now?
The mini bust.
No, you just get the regular mini bust.
I was like, did you do a naughty version? Oh my god.
No. That could be a stretch goal though.
I'm really excited. I'm such a nerd for kind of the merch stuff, especially when it's kind of cool things, especially when it's something I can use or put on something. And there's a mission patch that I think is really cool, and a challenge coin.
Looking at those too.
I think the challenge coin's really cool as well.
For
yeah,
sure.
those are.
That should be like your shtick. You know what I mean? Like every time you release a new issue, you get a new patch and a new coin. You know.
They're pricey though. Those embroidered patches and coins.
Damn it! If the people want them,
I know they're gonna get the cost basically to buy them.
I'm just saying.
One thing is, it's cool though when you get out here, you get feedback from your fans. You ask them. You go in that update. And you go, hey man, is anybody interested in this? And then people go, yeah, add it as an add-on. You add it as an add-on. It's like, why not? If you know people are going to buy.
I do a survey before I launch my next one, and I send it to the backers. I just do I create a survey monkey. It's what it's called. And I just list all the things I could potentially put as merch, and I just get feedback. And
that's cool.
You'll see what they want. And it just goes to the people that have backed. I might throw it in the Facebook group if people want to, participate. But that way I get a little bit of feedback. Everybody, and they'll all eventually, if you get enough votes, you'll
and for all you people watching, drop what your favorite little thing is that people throw in with this. Is a bookmark, is it stickers, is a magnet? Drop in the chat. Let these guys know what it is that you guys like the most, so that they got some idea in case it's not on their list. I mean,
people love my T-shirts. People get my T-shirts and. What's the other thing they always get? Well, the Funko Pops go, but those are their own animal. Like,
I like magnets because I can stick them on my
magnets. A lot of people like pins. I put them on my hat.
Yeah, I like pins. Pins are cool.
Mm-hmm. And people like patches too.
Oh wow! Look at all those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh geez.
We got the pins, man. We definitely like the pins, and we encourage those. But I like the magnets too because. Like I said, I got 3 big filing cabinets, and the covers of them are just covered with magnets from different campaigns too. So,
I see a lot of poker chips too, poker chips.
Cool. Tons of trading cards, sketch cards, original sketch cards, like you do a limited amount of them. Like we're gonna do, you get the book.
Not Randy. He's doing 50.
You get a book and a sketch card.
Randy's
There are
like,
a lot of
well, I'll do sketches. It'll be like, what is it, a 6x9? I'll do like 50 of them. I was like, ooh, that's a lot.
Dude, that's a lot. Yeah. I'm talking about like trading card size. You do like 25 of them on your campaign. And they don't like take too much of your time up because it's just a trading card. You're not gonna.
Well,
I saw some cool
done.
metal trading cards.
Oh,
yeah,
those
the
are
metal
awesome
ones.
too. Yeah.
That I really liked because I don't have to worry
Metal
about it getting
bookmarks.
bent.
I did want to do trading cards. I wanted to make trading cards and package them in like a foil booster pack kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Now I've seen metal bookmarks, metal bottle openers,
That's cool.
all kinds of cool stuff that people are doing now.
I'm prototyping something that to experience it, you have to destroy it. And it's not a watermelon.
So there will be none left if you actually
just sending watermelons to people.
Yeah, be like, you are now getting a slice of watermelon. Like, why is my comic all soggy? Just kidding. We're not doing that, people. But yeah, I have some prototypes I'm going to be sending out to individuals from this last campaign. They're going to get some prototypes, and I'm going to ask them for some feedback. And if they like them, then I might make them.
You want to see something that's like, wow, I can't believe I just saw this. You know Max, Laurie, right?
Yes. What's he doing?
From his first Merry Machine Gun campaign, bookmark.
Yeah.
From the first Merry Machine Gun campaign.
Right.
Before they reloaded it, redid issue 1, started it over. This is like, I didn't even remember I had that. And then if you want to see something really cool, check this one out. I can't believe I found this either. Who's that?
That's you. As Doctor Strange? Or what are you?
No, I was my own character. It was me, Pops Van Zant.
That's
That's
cool.
crazy. Who did that one?
That was a book called Mojo Risen.
Okay.
And I was actually a character in it, believe it or not.
That's hilarious.
It was hilarious. Ah, memories.
Pushing all the buttons. Refresh. You got 3 backers.
Yeah.
You'll win.
Just keep rolling. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Check it out. Back this one.
Refresh.
Get this one off to a good start. Dogfight in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a really cool dogfight in space. That's a part that I really love.
And did we mention alien mushrooms and space dinosaurs?
I mean, you guys really haven't said anything that I would dislike. You're like,
hey,
outer space, wakes up a bunch of years later. There's, the Americans
there's a
conflict, and then it's like there's aliens. There's different kind of aliens. There's danger
there's
chicken.
a lot going on in this book.
There's some mushrooms.
That's what I was gonna say. He said alien mushrooms. You got me. I mean, that's
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now this is where the dinosaur chickens appear, right?
She's like, oh fudge.
There's a jump.
It's coming from the sunlight. Or is it coming through a space portal? What is it? Please explain.
Where, this one?
Yeah.
So this page is not, that's just sunlight. So
Okay.
she has crash landed on this planet and is just trying to get her bearings. And as she's just trying to get some water and kind of get a sense of where she's at and where she should be going, she just suddenly gets attacked and the computer is no help whatsoever.
Danger chickens.
Okay.
And so, and of course, that's one of those shots you get right before it cuts, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm assuming that's a double page spread.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, that's why there's
And,
kind of an absence of anything in the middle there.
And I
Right.
love that because I don't know. I feel like every issue should have at least one. Hopefully not too many, but
Right.
I
definitely.
thought it was like mandatory. I thought that was like a hard rule. You had to do that.
Gotta have one.
Did you guys ever see Thor 384? I think 380. Thor 380. It is all full page spreads.
Oh,
double page
yeah.
spreads of Walt Simonson art.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Thor fighting the Midgard serpent. It's the Ragnarok, the true Ragnarok episodes that Simonson wrote. And the whole book is splash page after splash page of Simonson art. It's just, I cannot believe this book is found in dollar bins.
It's
It's
crazy.
unique. It's amazing. It's like, why is that a dollar bin book? I don't get it. But yeah, there are some books that can make that work. It depends, of course, on the artist. Frank Miller could do that. There's a few people that can get away with doing a whole book of full page or 2-page spreads. There's not a lot of people could get away with it, but there's a few.
Yeah, I know that Death of Superman book. That's filled with full page spreads.
Wow.
Is it? It's been so long since I've read that one.
Yeah, there's like a couple of years ago, I went through it again after not reading it since like childhood, and I was like, oh my God, there's so many full pages in it.
Right.
I always disliked it though when you felt like they were doing it because they just didn't really.
Amazing.
They were thinning out the story. They were kind of like, we don't have much story. Let's just kind of.
I just looked at it if there was enough in the picture to justify that spread, cool. But if that could have been done in a panel with 6 others, no background, no
just partial background or color.
Yeah.
We started out with like a 22-page script, and like a couple of I wanted to do big panels and I wanted to do a couple of spreads, and so we just added pages.
Yep. I didn't know you could do 26. I thought you could only print in multiples of 4.
Well, yeah, I had to add like 2 pages of bonus content to make that work.
Yeah, I get you.
So,
well, I mean, you can also sell ad space that way too. Like do 20 as you fill 26, and people can purchase ad space in your comic.
Yeah, what I did with my second issue was I had it was 30 pages for my Western, so I'm throwing in one ad for Cosmonatalya and then one ad for what the artist from the first issue is working on. Because I really kind of just want to encourage that with people that when you work with somebody, once your relationship with that is over, it's not necessarily over. You might run into them. It's a small world, So try to help them out. And plus, if they kick off and you don't, what if people are like, hey, what else has that artist done? And then they find your book. You know what I mean? So me promoting his work is still promoting my work, because if people really like what that artist is doing, they're going to come back and check out their other work. So that was why for me, I was like, I didn't want to sell it because I was just like, well, that's also extra work for me. But on top of that, I wanted to kind of help him out and also see if I can kind of do it, so it's more rounded. And that's also why I try to use the same letterer and the same flatter, because they can take on more projects at a time.
Right.
So whenever I have a project, I always go to them first, and their rates are lower subsequently, so they're always looking for work. They're always, because they got to grind out a lot, and it's not like they're bugging me. They don't come to
heroes, me. Both letterers and flatters.
Oh yeah.
I do both
they're
of those, so I feel that pain.
Oh really?
Yeah, I letter my own book. And then I trade work with some other artists. I'll flat their stuff. If I flat 15, 20 pages, they might do a cover for me. So
not a bad deal.
Please. Now look, Sunday's Father's Day. These guys are fathers. Back their books.
Father's Day, yes.
Help them out.
These fathers out.
It's better than a pair of socks. Back their books. Come on.
Yeah, they would definitely prefer books over or backers over socks.
Yeah, and
we're gonna make it mean no socks, backers only.
Well, I won't say no to socks. I'm just putting that out there.
You like socks?
I'm a little low.
But I'm a comic for
I had to make a meme that said no fivers, only backers, because that's how bad it got. And he had like the picture of the demonic
Oh,
dog.
wait a minute. Go ahead, Laurie. Play your video for Dean. I know Randy's
It's in
seen
the
it, but
other
play your video
studio.
for Dean.
I have to change
This
the
is going to
studio
be your Kickstarter life for the next 30 days, my friend.
Sorry, I had to change the studio for just a second. I'll play the thing and we'll
Oh,
go right
I
back.
watched it. Are you going to show me the dodgeball video?
Yeah.
Nose and lips. Okay, ow. Can I? Ow! 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 Wait! Ow! 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 Please, Mr. Oh!
Yup.
Yeah, because those are things you don't really hear about, of course, if you're not in the loop and you're just like, I want to make a comic book and you throw it up on Kickstarter, you're going to get a lot of heartache, right? You got those people who like drop out the last week of the campaign.
Oh, God.
You're like, I'm only $10 away. And then you look at it like a week later
Yeah, I'm
and you're like, well, you obviously look at it every day, multiple times a day,
Oh, yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But like you wake up the next morning and you're like, how come I all of a
went
sudden am hundreds
backwards?
of dollars back? How did that happen? And you start looking at like drops. And usually those are, I guarantee you most of them are scams.
There's
But
a
there's
lot
a
of-
portion of them probably with its people where they're like, nah, I can't, I can't afford it.
And shit happens, man, where
Right.
it's like, hey, my dad's car broke down and I got to help pay for car parts, or I got to start taking him to work, or you know what I mean? Like crap happens. So we get it. And it's normal. You're going to get them. Even it kills us every time. My lady friend Carissa Grant, she's going to be here on Tuesday launching her next Kickstarter, and her and I are each other's support system. So it's like anytime someone cancels on a show, I just volunteer to go run them over with my car. When they cancel stuff, I don't actually do it, but it makes her feel better that I threatened their life for canceling on her Kickstarter. Keep that in mind.
Carissa, I just read Redemption #1 earlier today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
on
I
like
did.
5.
I know.
She's
She's
doing-
it's like a machine.
She's the hardest working person out there, and it boggles my mind how she's able to do it. But
I don't think
love
I've
what she
ever not seen her online, like no matter what time.
does. Well, she's constantly campaigning, so she has to.
Yeah.
That's her. I think how like we have our name and then we have like our little thing like why not change to Princess of Power because whatever. But it's like she should just be like Carissa Grant, constantly campaigning. That's her new. He's constant.
Oh, I thought I had that book right near me. I think I have that one too.
I have her latest one because that just came. This one with Anubis.
Oh, see, now she just told me that. I just told her go ahead.
Oh, nice. Oh, I saw that cover. That looks really
cool cover.
Guess who lettered this one?
Really?
Oh, who lettered?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I do have
I love this book.
I'm sure
Well,
you
you
guys
passed the 10% mark here.
nice. I'm sure you guys know Ben Lacey.
Yes.
Right. I got
My
this
group.
is his call his Cthulhu Man.
Yeah. Nice. I just did some voice work for him too, for one of his commercials. He was like, "I need voice," and I was like, "I got you."
Laurie, did you see yesterday, Laurie, that on Twitter, Doc's Golem was put in a head to head against Aaron Lepresti's Garbage Man?
Yeah, and he was winning.
He won.
He did.
He won. Doc's Golem won, dude.
Nice.
That's cool when you go out there and you beat a seasoned pro in the old art thing, man. It's awesome.
Nice. Scroll back up, Pops. Let people see where we're at.
Oh, do I have to?
I mean, you could show more of the tiers. We haven't gotten to some of the big tiers.
No, that's. I'm just kind of like we got time.
Woo, 246, guys.
I did see 246 right.
Yeah.
Progress.
Backers, let's roll. Let's roll.
See, Randy.
Thank you guys for your contributions so far.
Ra-
I was worried we'd be here all night watching a big goose
Poor
egg, you know?
Randy. On Tuesday, and we were like, "Hey, we should have a lunch party. It's fun. We'll hang out. We'll have a good time. We talk for about an hour, and then you lunch, and then we watch the numbers." And he was like, "But what if nobody comes out?" And I was like, That's not going to happen. Like, you're going to get backers.
It actually, I mean, we've had it happen before, but that was because like of the time of day or not having any kind of
oh yeah,
nobody knew ahead of time. It was just like ninja launch,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, don't
Usually that's like right away when you said you wanted to do this. I made the promo card. I sent you the link. I set it up so that you had a chance to tell everybody about it for a couple days, and let everybody know this is what's going to happen. So I mean that has happened, but not very. Usually we get a good. Always at least 10% of goal and get somebody well on their way to being funded. And then we, push the hell out of it until it gets funded, because that's what we do.
You'll get funded. There's no doubt in my mind. People will just see the cover, they watch the video, and they're in.
Now, we were down here at about tier 6 or 7. Because we had we had different, the physical copy of the variant. Tier 6
suitable
is
for work.
Another variant, cover C, right there.
Monica.
Yep.
And then the physical copy B, the black and white. I like it.
That's the variant that's the one that I didn't do. That's actually by Carlos Valenzuela drew that art.
I like it.
I really like the dog.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, the dog's very cool in that.
Then you got variant cover E, which is totally caked up, as the kids say.
Yeah.
She is caked. I mean, she's in shape. That's muscle back there. That's all muscle.
And then 8, of course, tier 8, the physical copy of the safe for work version. The naughty
version.
Tier 9 is everybody. You get them all, man. Tier 9, you get them all. Or tier 9, you get it all.
Collect all 5 covers for $45. Yeah, that's a good price for that.
And if you look at those day one deals down there, those are some things that I haven't seen a ton of artists to do. And it's something you're only going to really get probably at I would almost suppose it like the beginning or the early stages of their career when they have enough free time to do it.
Yeah.
Well, free time's a relative term, I suppose, huh? He's going to be doing, a fully rendered art of a character of your choice. And that's as long as it's this day and you commit to 100, and it can be whoever you want. See, there's that horse. There's that.
Yeah, that's that Aconi cover.
Nice.
That's one of the 2 that I did
Gorgeous.
for Aconi. The other one's actually behind me on my desk here.
Cool.
Okay, so the collector tier 2 has the mini resin and all 5 covers. Tier 9 is all 5 covers. Collector tier 1. The naughty collector tier gets everything.
Naughty.
Everything, because you get the naughty one too. Okay.
Right.
Ultimate collector's tier, coin, patch, everything, the resin, all of it. Ultimate collector's tier. Now I know some people go beyond that, so
And if you do it today, then you also get one of those fully rendered ones. Yeah. And if you go further down too, there is also going to be some sketches that he's going to be doing as well.
Now that's a limited 10 on those prints on that one day only. That's a limited 10, So just do it. Don't wait.
Can't hem and haw on that one.
No, you can't. You got to pull the trigger.
There's
other creators out there that are. If there's other creators out there that are interested, they could use that $100 tier and get a cover made if they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you could back a book and plus get a variant cover for your own book at the same time.
That's amazing.
So it's like I wouldn't really want to do covers that cheap very often, but I try to fund my book, so.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna be talking to you in the future about some variant covers.
Right. If you're like, man, I got to spend, you're definitely, if you're someone thinking of a variant cover, you're not thinking of $100.
Mm-mm.
And plus you're not getting anything except that. Whereas here you're getting all that. Plus you could get a variant cover.
Mm-hmm.
So
patch, stickers, the coins, all his add-ons. And then that stretch goal, that first stretch goal at 3,000 that adds 6 more pages to the story, yo. More content is always Always.
And we were laughing about the picture he put for you, Dean.
I saw that. I totally laughed.
He said he was going to send me one.
The only picture I have of myself is I was joking around with my girlfriend and I'm smoking in my car while I'm delivering pizzas. And I was like, nah, I don't know if I should use that.
Yeah.
Just gonna put the old print screen button here, and I got
so funny.
Yeah, right.
Why is it that the artists always take like these professional headshots? You know what I mean? Like my artists are the same way. Where like they're young and beautiful, and the phone is just black and white and posed correctly, and like, you know, like laughing and happy. And I'm like super scary in mine. I was like, I cosplay in mine. I cover my face because ain't nobody got to see that.
Right. So
I should use my yearbook picture as a teacher.
There you go.
Just me wearing like a suit and stuff.
That's funny.
Should we show the trailer again for people who may not have been watching earlier?
Yeah, there's people watching. Let's show them. Let's do the trailer again.
And I did the music for this trailer. I just want to give myself credit there.
Thank you.
You did an amazing job.
It's based off the Soviet national anthem. Well, it is the Soviet national anthem.
Yeah, it got stuck in my head all day.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Do you remember your dreams?
Dang nice. 12%.
We're at 12%, guys. That's great.
Yeah. You're gonna have to
Smart, man.
you're gonna have to email me a copy of that so that I can add it to our
Yes, the video is what he's saying.
List
We
of
can add it
trailers.
to our trailers and play it on all the shows.
That would be awesome of you guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, not necessarily all the shows, but you know, I mean, you'll get
shows.
some airplay. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to overcommit. We're gonna play it for every single thing ever.
We're gonna play it the one time.
All the shows are not necessarily mine.
This is true.
Pretty much get airplay
like
on
the
all the
link,
madness
get the link or something included, or I don't know, so that people know where to go. Live on Kickstarter.
Live on Kickstarter, just any kind of an end cap to put at the end of it. Add end cap to the end of it. And, I mean, you know, it's all good. Now I want to go back to this page art. I want people to get a chance to see what you're getting on the inside of this thing.
Amazing line art, beautiful color, good story. What else do you want? Oh yeah, naked babes. What else do you want? Danger chickens. It's got it all.
I like the danger chicken.
I do too.
They remind me of the skeletal vultures over there. You know.
Oh, Carissa's vultures. That part of the story is really funny, where they like bust through a window and they're both like, "How are you flying? You're a skeleton."
It's a fair question.
Leave it to Carissa. She has the best monsters. It's like giant salamanders and undead mermen and like skeletal vultures that fly around. Undead Anubis, and he plays fetch with hellhounds. I'm just like, what? I want to live in your head for just a little bit, please.
Good stuff.
It is. Why we do what we do.
I mean, it's crazy when you just see how much artistic talent there is out there, huh?
It's great.
It's amazing.
It's
dude.
amazing because this is where all the new stuff is. That's where all the good stuff is. No more regurgitation. New original stories, beautiful art, lots of talent. It just goes to show you that Hollywood's looking in the wrong direction.
You know, the thing I love about indies is I have yet to see a reboot.
Jeez, right?
I've seen some people redo the art on their first comic and put it back out with updated art or whatever.
Right.
But I've never seen anybody go, oh man, I need to reboot my character.
Yeah,
right.
I could understand doing that because like you get better over time, right?
Yeah.
Well, but see, that's part of the love though, is also watching the progression.
Right. That's my favorite part too. It's like, look where you started, look where you are now, and how things have changed. It's great to see. It's great.
Yeah.
Hello, Down Under. What's happening?
Up?
Manicore out of Australia, checking us out. What's happening, my friend? I'm trying to talk Manny into doing a late night.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Gamer Street.
Because we have all sorts of dead space on the network, and it's like, yeah, you all are awake.
Well, it's the whole thing. In the middle of the night, it's like there ain't a whole lot going on. But
we got nothing. We sleep.
he does video games live. You know, so we get to watch Manny play video game stuff. Maybe we'll get to the point where people join him. We all play a game together. You never know.
Dude,
what sort of games?
Broke Diablo.
What all you do? What all you? Oh, you
broke Diablo 4.
Diablo 4.
I was playing in. I finally made a Blizzard account so I could play my own character because I was under my husband's profile when we were playing the beta. So he was his character, I had my character, and he was a couple levels higher than me. So I had to go back and start the game with just my character. So I was still level 6, so it's not like it made me start over, but I had to start the campaign over, right? So I'm doing the things and I'm going fast because I don't care because I've already done it. And there's this one part where you meet this PC character and he makes you go get his stupid weapon from the trader. So I went to the trader, I got his weapon, and I was like, while I was here, I will just dump the rest of the junk I don't need. And I dumped everything in my inventory, and it sold his weapon too. I went back to him, and I couldn't complete the campaign. I couldn't go any further because he didn't have his weapon. I was like, well, I got to start over.
Man.
How is that even an option to be able to do?
Thank you.
It's supposed to be like a no-drop item.
You would think that it would be like you can sell everything except for this.
You'd think it would be a no-drop item. That's what I'm saying. An item that you can't scrap, you can't get rid of.
There's not even a buy it back option? You used to be able to buy back.
No, I scrapped it.
Oh. I thought you sold it.
I scrapped it at the armorer.
Like, we don't need this.
I was like, scrap all the things that I don't need. And he was like, I'll take it all, scrap. And I was like, so I walked over there and I was like, give him the thing, give him the thing. Give him the thing. And then I was like, I have nothing. I was like, I got to start over.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Man.
Like,
yeah, my son and my grandson have been playing that. I mean, we played 3. We had, mods with unlimited millions of gems and characters, hardcore characters that are level 70 and will never get killed no matter how hard we're playing. And then it's like you can't grandfather any of that stuff over. It's like,
nope.
Man, come on, all that work.
Yep. Start over. But of course, I'm playing as the Necromancer because that is fitting. So
that's what he's playing as too. I want to try the Druid.
Yeah, that would be fun too. My husband started he usually plays as the Barbarian, and he chose the Sorcerer this time, and it's interesting.
I always played the
he unlocks some like
Demon Lord or whatever it was. That was my thing.
The Demon Slayer. That's the one that I played at.
I always attempt to try out everything, but I always wind up playing the Barbarian anyway.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's the only thing I know how to build.
Oh my gosh. Lee Newman from Sissone. He's working on another book. I can't talk too much about it. I don't think he's announced anything, but the main character is a barbarian. So he was able to go into Diablo and build his barbarian. It looks just like his character in his new story coming out. I was like, Do this. I was like, there's no cowboys in Diablo. I was like, damn it.
No, Red Dead. You can do Red Dead, but you
I was
can't really
just
make your
about
own
to
character,
say-
can you?
That's funny because my Fallout character's a long gray-haired, long-haired, gray-haired, same facial hair, everything pretty much looks just like
Right.
me. It's like, damn.
Right. I have to go play Red Dead Redemption and make
You
juice.
can pretty much create.
That's pretty
anything.
much what I did. I mean, I had the stories for Jake Sunrise, and I just started playing. I made a character that was him because I didn't really have a sense of what I wanted him to wear quite yet.
Yeah.
But I knew what colors, so I started kind of playing around with outfits, and then just made them. And it's kind of nice because your brain starts to explore other ideas as you're walking through with that character.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's kind of a writing tool in a lot of ways.
Yes. Yes. I know.
I would definitely recommend it. I was trying to find a space game to do the same thing with Cosmonatalya. If anyone has recommendations, hit me up.
No Man's Sky, but I don't think you see your character.
What's it called?
No Man's Sky.
I've heard that looks gorgeous. I've seen it.
It's a beautiful game. I don't think you play it first person, like you don't see your character like you do in.
I don't think it'll be out for like some time yet, but I kind of wonder about Starfield.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's that new Bethesda game. It looks enormous.
Oh, Bethesda.
But it's Bethesda, so it's like, but is it going to work?
That's true.
Speaking of, did they ever release the new? There was a game called Vampire Masquerade's Bloodline. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that.
No.
They still haven't released that?
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, you never heard of it?
No.
It was this great video game that's super old, super damn old, and like early 2000s. And it was so popular amongst the community that there is more modded content and added story and added skins and upgrades that it's not even the original game anymore because it's been 20 years now.
Wow.
And, I would spend half my time in that game just customizing the other characters in the game, being like, I want the other character to look like this. And they're supposed to make one that's kind of like Cyberpunk, whatever the year.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
And it looks like it's kind of like Cyberpunk like that, but they keep saying, oh, it's going to come out next year, and then it doesn't. The other game I'm interested in is it called Skull and Bones? It's the crew that did Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Cool.
Doing a pirate game. Like online. I was like, I want to do that.
Isn't there? I think there is one. There's like a multi.
There is one. It's kind of cartoony though.
Yeah.
And this one's supposed to be more like. I
just happened to come across it on a TikTok because their ship got attacked by a Meg.
Oh.
Like a megalodon?
So I've got a question from somebody here. I'm not sure how to answer it.
Flying all over the place. They were like, their ship just went like soaring into the sky. There goes the ship.
Somebody asked a question?
Somebody asked me a question. Somebody asked, is there a way to get the digital deluxe naughty PDF with a physical tier? And now I'm like I don't know.
Add it on.
Do I have to change something?
You could just add a digital naughty add-on.
Yeah.
If it's not there.
Oh, that song is in my head. Should I play it? Hey, people, call to action. Scroll to the top. Scroll it on up. Is Pops there?
What do you want me to do?
I want you to scroll to the top so I can do a call to action and play back it.
Okay. Scrolling back up to the top, hitting refresh.
Hey, 7 backers, 273. Let's refresh. Beautiful, beautiful. It is now time. If you are watching this show, guess what time it is? It is time to keep it coming up. Keep it coming up. Don't stop it now. Don't stop it. No, don't stop it now. Don't stop it. Keep it coming up. Keep it coming up. Don't stop it now. Don't stop it. No, don't stop it now. Don't stop it. Oh, I was dancing.
Yeah,
I was too. It's definitely a bop.
Yeah, I love that one. Doc made it. Thanks, Doc. Anyway, yeah, it's time to come take advantage and hop on this train that's taking off from the station, and it's gonna be moving fast. I guarantee you. I see the potential.
We will do what we do. We'll promote this one till it's over, man. You know.
and then we'll promote it some more.
I do. Yeah. I do appreciate all the love, you guys. I really do.
This one's
I would be like absolutely nowhere, if I hadn't gotten so much help from so many different people.
Well, I'm glad you reached out, because I was like, yes, come on the show, absolutely. And then you're like, it's my first time, and I was like, oh.
Well, it was my second time, and my first time out was not great.
Which is surprising, because Johnny's usually pretty good, but I mean, yeah, I guess you got a 2-for-2 record of going on shows and getting yelled at. So
yeah.
Because he was like, I don't know, in the middle when we plateau, I'll just take a break, and I was like, there's no breaks. It's like there's no breaks.
It was like the second time in as many days the show host had scolded me for something. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, right. Like, well, in the middle it'd be nice because we'll have some downtime.
Right. I was like, there's no such thing. No. I'm like,
no downtime. Nope.
Ping, ping.
I was going to sleep tonight too.
What?
Well, and it's something that's. I mean, I don't
know.
I think when I looked at analytics, I don't for my first campaign for Jake Sunrise, I don't think there was a lot of Reddit backers, but you're never necessarily 100% on all the stats, I imagine.
Right.
But right now Reddit's shut down pretty much.
Right.
Like you can't post to any of those groups.
Right. Everything is blown up there.
Yeah.
I find that I get the most engagement from doing indie podcasts. I told you guys I did an experiment because I usually Kickstarter. That's the platform that most people look for me, when I'm campaigning. And I was like, I'm gonna run an Indiegogo, and we're already funded, so I'm not gonna work on it. I'm just gonna, throw it up there, and I'll mention it anytime I'm on a show, and just casually mention it. I usually, when I Kickstarter, I do about 30 some odd podcasts. I really do a lot of shows.
Dang.
And then I did 3 for the Indiegogo. And the only time I got backers on that little campaign was when I was on a show.
Oh, really? Huh.
People don't organically find you on Indiegogo, apparently. So that answered my question. But again, it was a flexible goal, and we're already funded. So it's not like I was relying on that money for anything. I was just trying to tap into another market to see if hey, I don't know if you guys have heard of us. Some people don't cross-platform. And I wanted to see, if you've been waiting for Path of the Pale Rider to show up in Indiegogo, here's your chance to, get on board. And nobody cared.
What about Zoop?
I haven't tried them yet. And I have not tried Fund My Comic yet.
Fund My Comic.
Ryan did Zoop, and although he did pick up a lot of new people too, new people that weren't from Indiegogo or whatever, he did pick up a lot of new backers, but not enough to fund. And Zoop kind of curates. You have to have back issues. You have to have, Brian has 8 issues, so they saw something they could curate, something they could, market. But if you've only got one book, I don't even think Zoop will look at you unless you're somebody big.
Yeah. I've gotten 2 or 3 emails from representatives at Indiegogo.
Now, Fund My Comic, look, they send out those things to people who they would never have on their site.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, they straight up send, the solicitation emails to everybody, even people that they know they would never allow on their sites. It's crazy.
I don't ever hear a lot of real positive stuff from, in any of the chats or groups about Indiegogo.
Fund My Comic, on the other hand, is just barely 90 days in existence. They have campaigns over there that are pulling 10 grand.
Who?
Already. Okay. They're talking about, everybody's talking about it. It's all over Twitter. It's all over YouTube. It's growing,
Fund My Comic?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's growing. I mean, Mike Barron's on there with Pat Broderick and the Bronze Star. There's some Doc's taking his book there. Stephen B's over there. There's a lot of cool people over there doing good stuff.
Do you think it's got anything, maybe something to do with the saturation on Kickstarter? Because there's a lot of projects.
Well, I mean, for a lot of these people, it just had to do with the fact that Luke's put up a free speech site.
Yeah.
You have a human that looks at your campaign gets approved, and then it's not going to get taken down because of the mob crying. It's not, you see what I'm saying? It's not, you're not going to run into any of the shadow ban problems of Indiegogo or the flat removal of your campaign like Crowdfunder or Kickstarter will do. If the mob cries, boom, you're done. You know, they don't even give you a reason. They just
See, I was a little worried that people were going to think that this was like some kind of pro-Russia propaganda book, just like on the site. And, you know,
and that's the sad part, is that somebody could interpret it that way without ever having seen the contents of the book
or talk to you or anything.
Start a smear campaign and have you removed, just like they did to Mike Barron's Private American. They had it removed from Kickstarter. The guy who wrote the penultimate Punisher, okay, they took his stuff down because the mob complained, not because it's actually racist or anything. It's actually a really good Punisher type story.
Was this like after the white nationalist guys kind of took over the Punisher logo?
This is like just recently. Like
who is?
it was after
this
that.
Looks like a sweet book. I mean, it looks kind of cool. There's a few ones that I really like that I've heard of before on Fund My Comic. What I really like about them is what I like about the idea is that it's focused on comics.
Right. Yeah. It's comic related, but also my thing was they have all these platforms have what they call an approval process. Fund My Comic is the only one that has an actual approval process where once you're approved, nobody's going to mess with it. It's up to the end. It's the only one. The rest of them have an automated, okay, well, you know, okay, no boobs, it's up. Oh, well, but you can go in there and change it the next day, put boobs on there.
There was a whole Kickstarter that was about boobs. What are you talking about? We looked at it.
It made so much money, too.
It made $27,000.
And I'm not going to lie.
The thing about Fund My Comic is you can't go behind the back door later and change it. It still has to go through approval. Any changes you make, you have a human representative. You're not talking to an automated service. Okay, you have actual humans that you're talking to and that you're dealing with. And, you know, if there's an issue, you know, I mean, they're going to talk to you. You can talk to them. It's not send an email and hope. Like Doc waited for how long to get his money now? Because Indiegogo just won't respond to you.
Well, they have a 15. They have a longer period than Kickstarter because I'm waiting for my funds too. Because mine ended June 2nd, I think, and it's a 15 business day period. And I thought that it was going to, because I was scheduled to go in demand after mine was done. And remember, we were looking at it, and I was like, it's not in demand. They closed it. Well, it goes in demand once they collect the funds. Well, they collected the funds, but they haven't given me the funds. So it won't go in demand until they pay me. So I'm like, this is
think it'll go in demand if it didn't meet the 500.
It's a flexible goal. It doesn't matter how much I made.
Yeah, that just says that it's flexible. That just means that you're going to fulfill regardless. That doesn't obligate them to do anything.
I got the email that said that it was going in demand once they collected funds.
We'll see.
So we'll see. I still am waiting because it's only it's the 15th, but it hasn't been 15 business days, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's like the other ones, the other platforms have gotten so big, they've gotten shady.
Right. They're trying at this point, they're just trying to nickel and dime everybody.
Well, they're floating the money.
Oh, and that's the other thing. Fund My Comic is a 3% fee.
Yeah.
It's lower. And I was looking at it too. And what I like about it, my biggest complaint with Kickstarter is like, they're not interested in getting your project funded. They're interested in their cut. And while that's not necessarily like a bad thing, they prioritize it to the extent that like if something is 12,000 times above its goal, it's the first thing you see. So it's like those people who are still scrapping to get ahead.
Yeah, like
no one's ever going to see that. Think about anyone who put out a comic on Kickstarter at the same time as either Wesley Snipes' book, I can't remember what it was called, or What was that one
It's
called?
Exiles.
Exile or Keanu
Keanu
Reeves'
Reeves'
book.
book. Yeah.
Imagine you put yours out at the same time on the same platform. No one's ever going to see yours. During that whole campaign, you're gone. You know? So this one, Fund My Comics says that they don't use the algorithm, or they don't use it in algorithm. So I don't know how they prioritize and show off which ones at the top. It looks like they don't necessarily even prioritize. You can just scroll down and see what they have.
I think you can get the 3%, but I think if you do 4 or 5, they will advertise and push you to the front. Am I wrong, Pops? I think there was a child talking to him. Never mind. But I think there is some kind of like a way to get them to push you towards the front with some percentage like incentive. I don't know.
And there's a button that says least funded. I'm not sure that Kickstarter has one of those, does it?
No.
Right? You can't look up by least funded campaign. I don't think you can.
No. I know they have like ending soon.
Yeah, ending soon.
But you really got to kind of look, and you're right. There is a saturation.
And if you're on Twitter and you follow Fund My Comic, you will see that Luke and the other guys are out there constantly talking about the campaigns, you know, all the different campaigns that are out there. It's like they're new, they're promoting. And in order to promote their site, they have to promote the content.
Right, they're hungry for it.
Exactly. Now is the time.
Yep.
You know, and like I said, 90 days in, man, and you know, you figure it was going to make or break by now, and it's definitely making. It's not breaking. You know, people are over there backing books. People are signing up. So I think you have to go through Stripe and not PayPal. I think that's
okay.
That's the payment provider.
Kickstarter uses Stripe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the only difference. And, you know, as they grow, then the other ones will, you know, give them a little bit of love. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, look what PayPal did there in July.
Yeah, there's another platform called Indie Planet. Have you heard of that one?
Indie Planet isn't that the
or is that a publisher? I don't think it's a publisher, right?
Print on demand.
I think it's on demand printing, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a great title there. It was the comic, the title itself that just got me. Let me see. What was the title of it? Something about Gorilla Galaxy. And I was like, ooh.
Did you see the ad? Oh, we didn't play it. We have Six Gun Gorilla that Brian Christgau does, and it's amazing.
Brian Christgau, yeah. Six Gun is on its. They're doing the 9th and 10th issues of it right now. You can get the trade paperback, all of it. It's all good. It's on Indiegogo. I think he's ending that one on Indiegogo in a couple weeks and then launching again on Fund My Comic. So,
Six Gun Gorilla, Dean, you should check it out.
Six Gun Gorilla.
Yeah, we can play. We'll play
it's
the ad
actually it's a public domain character that he started writing a story on a few years back. You know,
cool.
I don't know if you're aware of Preston Acevedo, but that's his current artist, and dude's a beast.
I'm looking at it; it's gorgeous. I'm seeing the covers right now, but
you like westerns, right? He also has a Western review show where they'll watch old westerns.
Spaghetti Western.
Yeah, Western show.
I have 2 westerns. One, I'm really depressed that I haven't already heard of it or seen it, and I don't know how I hadn't heard of it because my western, the main character never speaks.
Oh,
he's a silent protagonist, and there's a movie called, I think it's called The Silence, and I heard someone that wasn't even talking about westerns, and they were just talking about movies they loved, and they were like, "Oh, The Silence," and they just mentioned it offhand and kind of what it was about, and I was like, "How have I not seen that?"
Well, Brian also does the Horror Movie Club on Saturday night here on the network. Okay. And I think the Spaghetti Western show is on hold right now, but he did a few episodes that you can also see if you look. All the different shows on the Madness Network, each playlist is a different show. Okay, if you go to the playlists, you can see all the different shows or all the different titles of shows and all the shows that go with that title on each playlist. It's all separated, easy to find. They're in order, so you can binge watch them, whatever.
By genres.
Yeah, Spaghetti Western Jamboree is the Western show that Brian does, and you can see that on the YouTube channel too. So,
Once Upon a Time in the West is one of the all-time greatest movies.
A Time in the West, yeah.
But another one I haven't seen that I'm excited for is McCabe and Mrs. Miller. Have any of you guys ever seen that?
No.
McCabe
What's
and
it called?
Mrs. Miller.
Oh yeah, that's old school.
It's old school.
Yeah,
And I heard it was amazing. I was like, okay, I got to check this out because they said that it was sort of like the
Ain't that a John
non-Western.
Lane?
No, it's Warren
Who is-
Beatty.
Warren Beatty. Okay.
And it was supposed to
Oh,
be like
that's the funny one. I
a
remember
non-Western's Western. So it's like a
Yeah.
dude goes into town and he's kind of like, he's sort of an idiot, but he's the smartest dude in this town of idiots that he shows up into. And he just sort of like, he's like, okay, well, it's a mining town. I'm going to start like a respectable whorehouse. And essentially over time, like it's about what happens to that. And I guess it's kind of a tragic comedy. And I was like, oh, I need to see this movie.
It's definitely a comedy.
If anyone has recommendations, I haven't seen it. I feel horrible, but Galaxy Quest, I'm going to see that.
yeah.
If anyone has any other goofy space adventures, I would love to see them.
Gosh,
When I was a
that's
kid, I
great.
played this game called Space Quest. Speaking of DOS,
Space Quest.
bring it back to the old conversation.
Played that. Oh Lord.
The old Sierra games.
Yeah.
Quest for Glory was my jam. That's why I know anything about computers is so I could play Quest for Glory on, a pre-Windows computer
Mm-hmm.
and type DOS commands.
Yep. I remember if you could type certain things. I remember my dad would play Leisure Suit Larry. Remember that
Leisure Suit
game?
Larry, yes.
And he would type something and he would get into a fight and the guy would Larry would smack into the panel of the screen and then slide all the way down to the into the part where you type. And I was like, how is he doing that? That
And
was
those
the
games,
craft game.
what was fun with those old games when it wasn't multiple choice, sure, it's cool when you could pick different conversation things to say and different responses,
Just say whatever you wanted.
but you had to literally type it. And
Yeah.
if it didn't fit in, it was just, they don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So you kind of had to really think. It was
Yeah.
a really difficult way of playing games, but it was challenging.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. I think the last one like that was Myst. You know what I mean? Where you had to
Myst.
go figure stuff out. And then after that, it just kind of died. Then it
I
became
remember a bunch of old candy crawlers that were like that.
Which ones?
Candy computer, like dungeon crawler type games that were like that. Where you
Yeah.
have to type random, and it'll ask you, what do you do? And if you don't format your answer right, it's, just confused.
Bzz. Dust. Dust.
Dust.
Well, guys, I don't know where Pops went. Come back, Pops. But it's been a wonderful 2 hours.
It's been
Pops
fun.
Had a blast,
It's
man.
cool.
Always working.
This is what a launch party is. I'm glad that
And-
you decided to do one.
It's
I
really
agree.
great. You get to talk to, I find, comic books can be kind of interactive, but also isolating, right? So it's how often you get to, I remember, back, I'm a 90s kid and I used to love going to the comic store. My mom would indulge me by just sitting there while I would talk for an hour with the comic guy about different comics and different origin stories for characters and just trying to explain to a normie the history of such a basic character like Cable, who his parents are,
Right.
just
Right.
trying to explain that to a normie, their head explodes.
No,
And
they
so to
just
be able to
glaze
sit with
over.
other comic fans and just be able to talk about this and talk about that, and everyone gets the references and kind of
I
can
get
make
that glazed look a
recommendations.
lot being female and having female friends that are not in comics, and they're like, how's the thing going? And I'm like, the thing. They're like, your book, and I'm like, the comic book, and they're like, your book, and I was like, yeah, let me tell you all about it, and they're just deer in the headlights, I don't know if I should let her keep going or stop talking or what, and then they never ask you again. You're like, got it. Okay, good.
The plus side is when I was a kid, I remember when I was in elementary school having thinking I had to hide my comic book interest from my friends at school because I didn't want them to think I was a nerd. And, I had my few trusted friends who I let in on that secret and they'd go to conventions with me, but no one else, they weren't allowed to know. That was kind of my little secret interest on the side. And, I don't really know if it's so much like that anymore. I think there's so much more acceptance of, nerd culture, to just put it broadly. And I think that's awesome. I think that's amazing. I love seeing people let their freak flags fly, that's what I used to love about going to conventions as a kid, being like, who the hell are these weirdos? This is, this is so cool.
Why are they dressed up? I want to
just
do
like
that.
me.
Exactly. It's like that that meme, just like me for real, for real.
Right. And I mean, like, life is too short, right? Let your weird come out. It's
Right. And people are
be
weird in
you
ways I
and
never
be
thought of
happy.
being weird. Right? They're weird in ways I never even thought about being weird in. They're so creative with their weirdness.
And sometimes it's just like, whoa, too weird, too weird.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's like,
a
okay,
little too
cool.
weird, a little too weird.
I'm gonna go down this aisle instead.
Yeah,
because when I was a kid, Gwar intrigued me but scared me, and they were at every comic convention I ever went to. The old band Gwar. I don't know how many people are gonna be able to pick up on that reference, but
I want to see that dwarf metal band so bad.
No.
Dwarf metal?
Yeah, there's a dwarf metal band.
I need to Google this now.
Yeah,
No, it's totally, it's real.
It's
Someone
real.
in our PG
Now,
group
is it a dwarf metal band about like Mithril, or
There's
are they
also a
themselves
dwarf-
dwarves?
They are themselves dwarves singing
and they
about
play heavy
They
metal.
dress up as dwarves.
It's heavy metal singing about mining ore in the mountains and stuff. It's great.
Yep.
There's
they're dressed
also a little
appropriately.
Kiss. A bunch of dwarves that dress up like Kiss. And
There's a dwarf Kiss.
Little Kiss.
Yes.
Wind
There is.
Rose. There's also a band called 69 Eyes where the singer sounds kind of like if Boris Karloff, although I think those were silent films, weren't they? If like, you know, that kind of Dracula, want to suck your blood, was singing like pop metal, like where they're inspired by like Guns N' Roses, but they live in like Sweden. Very weird.
to the jungle.
Right? And it's like, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, this is so bizarre. It's like what Rob Zombie, I guess, was sort of doing that though, like 30 years ago. So, right? Rob Zombie was crazy. White Zombie, that was all nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then he had his brother. I actually tried getting into that for Cosmonatalya. I was like, well, Rob Zombie had that brother who was in, what was that band that was like, this is what it's like when worlds collide.
Astro Creep?
Astro Creep. So like I
That's
looked up
it.
that band. I was like, no, I don't like that music. I was like, there's just that one song. I like that song.
Oh my gosh. Well, we kind of went down a rabbit hole in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
You got to do it every now and then.
All right, people, we
Nice.
need one more backer. We
Almost
need
at
backer
10.
number 10, and then we'll wrap it up here.
That'd be cool.
Give us 10 and we'll get off. We'll go away.
I was going to say, we will be covering this throughout the campaign. I know Randy joined the Comic Related Madness. Dean, there's a group on Facebook where all this began. It's called the Comic Related Madness. It's a networking and promotions group. You guys make sure one of you drops the link over there at least once a day.
Mhm.
At least once a day. Okay, for the whole campaign. We'll get you out in the middle when that dreaded lull hits and just seems like nothing's happening. We'll get you back out on a couple of shows. Doc Blalock does a show. Timothy Fling does show. We have a whole bunch of shows on the network, and they all have different audiences.
Yep.
So you know,
Timothy Fling, I know him. It was his cover artist for Water Wars.
Yeah.
And I got that same guy, Irwin, doing the cover for Jake Sunrise too. The guy's just a talented
Oh,
fella.
his covers are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
and you can catch
He's got
Timothy's
that
show
one.
tomorrow night at 9:30. Creative Cranium.
And then he did this. He did this one for me. This was the one he did for us.
Wow.
It's a nice
Megan.
logo.
Right. Oh, yeah. This is the logo that Randy did. And what's great is that this is going to also feature in Cosmonatalya, and then it becomes the great mystery of how can a horror western be connected to a space romp. So, you know, people like those universes, right? People
do.
are all about the multiverse.
They do.
Thing
I
these
got 'em.
days.
Good stuff.
I got him.
Good stuff.
I sure
Right?
do. Yeah, you got to do it, man.
You got to do what all the hip kids are doing.
Mm-hmm. I'm hip. I'm cool.
Right? Hello, fellow kids. That's my job though. I fake being cool. I hang out.
Right, at
I hang
school,
out
right?
middle school kids all day. Right?
Middle-
Like
What grade?
middle school, which is awesome because they don't actually really know what's cool. So I'm not saying like I fake it to them. I'm saying they won't call me out on it because they're not sure. But
You're
they know
Adam
I'm
Sandler,
old and
like,
probably lame.
It's cool to pee your pants, kid.
Yeah, exactly. And I love teaching little kids like 7th grade and middle school because their heads are all edgy, but they still love like plushies. So it's just such a funny contradiction of like human that it's just funny to watch them.
They're like humans in training. That's what my sister
Yeah.
teaches. She was teaching 9th grade Spanish, and now she's going to 8th grade. So she's going to be in middle school for the first time in a long time. Because she was like, they're humans in training. They don't know what they're doing.
No.
You're having stepsons at that age is about the funniest thing you can ever experience because they'll try to get hard on you and be like, you don't know me, bro. Like I do actually. Hey, you live in my house.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
You've never
I've
lived anywhere
trained
else.
you.
For example, I can list all the addresses where you've lived.
Right?
I know a lot about you.
Yep. You know that mole on your butt? Yeah, I know where that is.
Exactly. I've changed you.
Right. You know exactly
I
where
get
that
one
is.
more good look at all this art.
Hey, number 10.
Yes.
Nice.
Here we go. 10 backers.
What I love about Randy on this book is he spent so much time on these spaceships and designing these spaceships, and we're only in space for a handful of pages before we're back on the planet.
I 3D modeled those spaceships like
On Blender?
painstakingly, and
Dude, I've seen all these spaceships that people make on Blender. They're fabulous.
It's beautiful.
Hi,
It's so gorgeous.
Carissa.
Oh, Carissa.
Thanks, Carissa. There she is. Still working. Hardest working woman out there.
I know Chris's book is over there. It's out of reach. That's why I haven't. That's not one of the ones I showed off.
I got you. I got it, Carissa. It's right here.
Nice. And that's actually my favorite cover. That one's good.
Yeah, me too, man. This one.
That thing is beautiful.
Ken Hunt cover. And then CC Stevens, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Carissa. But she's the colorist on Lady Death. And,
cool.
Fabulous work.
CC De La Cruz.
De La Cruz, thank you. I don't know who CC Stevens is, but she just got a shout out.
I got to show that picture to one of my students because in one of my classes I'm teaching ancient Egypt and the kid's doing Anubis. So
Yeah.
I got to show them that.
Yeah.
I'll just tell them it's Anubis.
There you go. This is from ancient Egypt. Yeah, the metal one is sweet. It's like you can never get a good picture of the metal because, glossy paper is tiny, but then when you see the metal ones and you hold them in your hands, they're just so awesome.
But they don't photograph well, do they?
No, they don't.
So how do you even do promotional imagery for that kind of thing?
I mean, you just take the picture and you tell everybody it's metal, but
Right.
they're mind blowing when you get them in your hands.
You do them super short videos, and you just
the videos.
That's
right.
Do the tilt
or a reel.
so that people can see
Rissa
the
agrees.
reflection going off it. And
For
whatnot.
sure. Yeah, you do one of those YouTube shorts or those Facebook reels or something.
Yeah.
Or you do the Tic Tacs. I don't know much about the Tic Tacs.
No TikTok.
I do the tiki takis.
I heard it's good.
They're great.
I don't know much.
I do the
Don't know much
tiki
about
takis. I do them for when I smash watermelons too. But look, see, this is a metal.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see. Wrong.
Wrong guy. Now that's not a foil cover, or is that it is a foil cover? No. Oh, okay.
Metal.
That's cool.
You can't tell, but when you actually see it, like the black is raised, so you can feel it too. Yeah.
That reminds me of that's almost like that's totally a comic version of this guy's card.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
This is for Outwash Onslaught, and I thought that was so cool. It's just metal, right?
Yeah.
We're just hanging out at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you guys see my Choose Your Own Adventure book?
No.
Yeah, I got a Choose Your Own Adventure book. I'm Path of the Pale Rider. Choose Your Own Path.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Let's bring back the 80s.
That's
Why
a cool
not?
concept.
And then it's illustrated, and
I was gonna say, is it illustrated? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Like
I don't know how many times I've seen an heavily illustrated Choose Your Own Adventure. When I was a kid, it was just
it is and it isn't. Like there's pages where there's just words, but
Right.
usually when I have like a grisly death or something, like you can be a head on a rock eventually, or
But that's a great opportunity as a writer too, because like I was saying when we were talking to somebody else that like, I come from writing like books, right? Like that in my practice, not that I was ever published,
Right.
but so I love narrative. I love writing narrative, and in comics, you can't really do too much of that.
right. But I love this because people can make decisions in my world and see how long they survive. They don't. Makes me laugh. Everybody dies.
I have come across yet another.
Oh,
This is
that?
leather.
Leather.
Oh, leather bookmark.
Wow.
I like that. especially for a Western or something sweet.
You know, probably cheap to make.
Oh, Tim Fling has these wood. They're like laser engraved wood pieces.
Yeah,
It looks
Carissa
like it would
knows
be
all
a
about
cover,
those.
but they're really neat. I wanted to do some for maybe my next campaign for like Western. It would be really cool.
I didn't see a distributor for metal cards though. I was looking around for metal cards at one point. I couldn't find anybody. So we'll have to talk about that in the Facebook groups because I would love to see that.
There's a few different ones. Fairies metal.
Carissa can tell you where the metal cards are.
Phoenix Animation is another. There's a few different that do it.
Carissa, put it in Team Chad.
Yeah, because I think metal cards would be great for something like Cosmonatalya at one point.
I think the same people that did your metal cover do metal cards, Laurie. Ready Comics.
No, I don't use Ready Comics. I have Charter does my comics.
I'm sure anybody that does a metal cover for a comic could also do metal cards. That's
right.
Yep. Carissa says Ready Comics. Here you go.
Cool. Thank you.
The one that Polito uses is, I think, Fairies out of California.
Like spelled F-A-E, Fairies?
F-A-I-R.
Oh, F-A-I.
F-A-R-I-E-S, Fairies, I think is what it is.
I had some cards made like a while back.
They do metal bookmarks as well.
Oh. Well, and something I want to do... Oh, that's cool.
Clear. That's my dog.
You got your dog.
Yeah. I know you can't read it, but there's like stats on there where
that's awesome.
Like if you play this card in a game, he continues to play every round, whether it's his turn or not, because that's how he acts.
He's like, my turn. I was like, no, wait.
I want to do a belt buckle too. I would love to do a belt buckle.
Buckles. That's interesting.
I want to do it for the Western because Randy's son.
I'm gonna steal that.
Totally.
You should have never said it, Dean.
I'm obsessed with Randy's son and his son emblem. This is a pin, and I think that even the next time it's going to be even an improvement. But check this out. This is going to be something that we do for ours.
I want to make custom. What are those belt buckles where it's just like I'm going to find it. I have one where it's like it doesn't actually buckle, but it's just like a big loop, and there's.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have a. Let me see.
We'll put that thing right on the front of the hat.
Carissa took over the chat. Sorry, everybody. Nobody else gets to speak. Carissa is here.
Everything.
Right, like this is my Buddha belt buckle.
Show me.
I got this when I was in Korea, when I lived in Korea.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
So something like that could be cool. I love belt buckles, so to have cool. Randy's son on a belt buckle would be really sick.
That would be really. That would be cool. I might steal that. So don't be mad at me if you see it show up and pat.
No, not at all. Go for it. I don't know. I don't worry about. To me, it's not competition, right? It's everyone just kind of.
And I'm not using your son.
We have a word for it, Dean. We have a word for it. It's co-opetition.
Co-opetition.
Every time somebody says Randy's son, I think you're talking about my kids.
Randy's kid. Well, and the cool thing is we can probably even do that belt buckle for both comics because it features in both. So
yes, you could.
Now, don't forget to get with me when we get closer to the end so we can set you up a countdown.
Oh, man. Yeah, you got to do a countdown party.
Yeah, we need to.
We'll just go full circle.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we like to do that. We like to have you out also during fulfillment. When you're over there packaging up books and stuff, we like to have you out so you can show everybody, look, we're packaging them up. We're shipping them out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's something people want to know.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get with you guys when things start to come in.
So, I mean, I like to cover it. I told Randy the other day, from pre-launch to fulfillment. I like to cover a campaign all the way. I don't just want to forget about it after the launch party, So I expect to see more of you guys.
Well, and one of the jobs I had in my 20s was at a small marketing company where that was part of my job, essentially, was like doing fulfillment and stuff. And I got total flashbacks when I was doing my first Kickstarter. I was like, I've done this before. I was like, this is my job for 6 months at one point in my life. It's just looking at what did they order, take it together, put it together, get the address label on there. All right. Put it in the stack.
Put it in the stack. Bum, bum.
And then you go to the post office or at least I do. I go straight to the post office and those poor hapless people. They're like, "Oh, you brought
They see
60
you coming.
things."
They're like,
I asked them too because I wanted to be nice. I was like, "What should I do next time?" They were like, "Break it up, bring like 30 at a time instead of 60."
Yeah, I usually
Okay.
do about that. I have like 2 bins, and when they're full, I go, and then I save them for the next day. So I think mine ship in like 4 shipments. They go out. Most of them go USPS, and every now and again I'll do a UPS. But I don't know, man. UPS dropped the ball. I sent one of my high backers had like a Funko Pop, a Bones of Despair, and like all the comics, 3 T-shirts, and all this cool stuff. And they delivered it to the wrong house. And then they told me that they sent it to the right place. And I was like, it's not possible. My backer has a Ring camera. And the time that you said it was delivered, there was no activity for an hour before or an hour after. Here's his information. He can send you the Ring footage. It's not there.
Yep.
They closed my claim 3 times.
What?
They closed it 3 times.
Do you think that was automated?
No, because I talked to people. First, they said that they couldn't get in contact with my guy. And I was like, did they call you? He was like, nope. I'm like, did they email you? He was like, nope. So I call him back. I'm like, you didn't even try to contact my person. Do it. So they were like, all right. So then they closed it again. We sent it to the right place. We have proof. What's your proof? Do you have my guy on video accepting it? And because if not, then you don't have proof.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, our GPS says it's the right place. I'm like, you need to look again. Open the claim.
I was lucky. One person I had trouble with, and I'm convinced it was just this particular delivery place or person, because these were the statues that Randy made for my campaign.
Cool.
If you want to see what his physical work looks like when it comes out, this is what Randy's looks like.
Wow.
And this is how I secured it.
Yeah.
I would do this, and then I'd put it in a box and have braces on both sides to keep the box sturdier on the inside even.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I sent her 2, and both ones I sent her broke. And I was like, that's 2. That's kind of eaten into everything. And so I told her, I was like, okay, when I do the next one, because I'm going to do glow in the dark ones for the second campaign.
Ooh.
I was like, when we get to the next one, I'll give you 1 of each. I was like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we might go back and resculpt some of that too to make some of those parts could be a little stronger, I think.
Randy, I found I have a filament printer, a 3D printer. I don't have a resin printer, but I found that they had wood filament, right? I was like, let's make a chess set.
Right?
A chess set? Wood filament?
Yeah, a chess set. A wooden chess set where you can 3D print your pieces. So it could be like astronauts versus aliens,
right?
Or astronauts versus cowboys. You could cross your that way. I was like, mine would be cowboys versus zombies because that would be hilarious. But you could do all sorts of stuff. I was like, that's why I need to learn Blender so I can make my own characters into busts that like yours, pretty much, with the base on it, so that way I can even like weight them so that they're heavy on the bottom. They don't just top heavy fall over. Chess set.
That's a really cool idea.
We're building a poker deck already, so we're all about the game.
It is. I feel like that would get really pricey though. Making a chess set, because that's like what? That's like how many pieces is that? Like
I don't mean we're gonna make it for the
40,
back.
right?
I might make it for myself.
Yeah. And you could just sell a couple. Like if somebody wants just a queen, they can just buy a queen.
Right, like a couple characters. You know, you
Right.
can put in the campaign.
One campaign, and it's like the castles on another campaign, the knights on another campaign.
That's what we're doing with my poker deck. That was Pops' idea, where he's like, "Hey, make a collectible thing." And I was like, I was already talking about making a deck of cards. So we designed the back, and then the interior cards, all the face cards are my characters, and then like I modified like the heart, the shapes themselves. I modified it so it's related to my comic. And every time we get 50 backers, we release another poker card. So
that's a cool way to do it.
Yeah. So people come back to get, not only the project, but, don't miss out a campaign, because then you miss out the card in the deck.
Yeah.
Have the whole deck.
That's such a sweet idea. I like the idea of cards because you can also carry them with you.
We just had a pretty good jump there, guys.
What's that?
Wow, 503.
Yeah.
They got a big one.
I love it.
Somebody got that ultimate collectors.
I was going to say, doesn't that put us at like 25%?
You're at 25%.
Dang. That's
And it's
awesome.
been an hour and 20 minutes.
Feeling pretty good about it.
See?
Cool.
Oh, that'd be really awesome if I could put that funded to 24 hours badge up there.
Right? That's a huge thing.
That's a huge thing.
I mean, there's the argument to be made, and I see people do it all the time, where you set it at $500, and then you're like, "We got funded in the first hour."
Right. Yeah. I don't. My goal is always 45.50, so we don't fund in 24 hours either. So.
Right. Like, but see that, but the algorithm encourages that, and that's kind of what bothers me about Kickstarter. Is more just what the algorithm's encouraging sometimes bugs me a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's like the biggest available platform.
You know,
so got to fish where there's fish.
The first ever comic that we did a launch party for was Mojo Risen, and it funded at $3,500 in 48 minutes.
Dang!
Wow! It was the first one we ever did, but we had been talking about it in the madness for months, and everybody was quite ready for it to be launched when it launched.
Right.
And, you know. I mean, they jumped all over it. But, I mean, like I said, when you have the time to market it and the time to prepare the fans and whet their appetites for it and tease them with a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that. I mean, we talked about it for 9 months before it launched. You know, by the time we launched it, everybody's like, about time, bang, hitting that button, you know.
Right.
Like, you know. It's fun, man. It's fun being involved in this. I got nothing but good hopes for this. A great start to it. Let's everybody share this out, man. Share that link out. It's pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. It's all over the chat over there. I'll drop it again. Share this link out. Let everybody know, man. Let's get this.
The more we see it, the better.
One of my favorite things is so that you guys, as creators, don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to fund for the whole month. Get it funded now. Let's get it funded so these guys can have fun and promote their book without all the stress of whether or not it's going to happen. And not only that, but for these 11 backers that jumped on right away, let's make sure they get their book, y'all.
Heck yeah, man.
You know.
Oh, they're going to get their book.
And then issue 2 comes.
Yeah.
You know, the quicker it gets funded, once we don't have to worry about this, we can be worried about issue 2.
There you go. That's how it works. Appreciate you guys coming out and letting us be the ones to launch your book. And we hope that we see you on some of the other shows here on the network, because we got a few that, you know, this is what they do. They go out and talk about what you guys do.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. We've got a number of other podcasts scheduled. So we're doing not one every day, but dang near. But I'd love to come back and close it out with you guys if we can.
Dude, hell yeah. Just set it up. I think it would be like on a Saturday night. And
yeah.
I think right now, that would be right during Stephen B's draw stream. I don't know. We'll talk to him. We'll see what's up. We maybe have it go a couple hours early and use that up that day. We'll see. We'll fix something. We'll figure something out for sure.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you. That's really cool.
Thank you, Hill folks. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So all 5 of my friends will see.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Game of inches.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thanks everybody
That's really
for
what
watching.
it is, isn't it?
Laurie, you want to play this? Let's play this one more time, and then we'll play some of them other ones on our way out. What do you think?
Let's do it. Oh, you have to push the button this time.
I got you.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The Civil War was America's bloodiest conflict. Over 500,000 died to preserve national unity. When the war ended, Confederates like Harley Brogdon headed west, shooting game for the Army and gambling. When a card game turns deadly, Harley shoots in self-defense, killing the card sharp who threw down first. Wilfred Knorr, the card sharp's wealthy father, will stop at nothing to see Harley hang. Harley flees to Cobb's Gap, an old silver mining town at the foot of the Rockies. A remarkably peaceful town, especially after dark. But the sheriff harbors a dark secret, and no one dares go into the mines anymore. Cobb's Gap is full of secrets. People speak in hushed tones of something in the mines. Something worse than their cursed sheriff. Something even the Indians fear from the deepest pits of hell. Every secret will be exposed. Bronze Star. Order your copy at bronzestarcomic.com.
Bringing you sex, sass, and style. Buckle up and unlock your imagination for a fun adventure with these death-dealing dames. They sail the galaxy in search of spoils. The most dangerous acquisition, and the most fruitful, are the legendary Splinters of Yggdrasil. The Splinters are magical artifacts forged from the Tree of Life that wreak havoc on the universe. The missions are perilous, but the bounty is glorious. Enjoy our hyper-fictional wonderland. How is a pirate ship sailing through space? 'Cause magic. How do they heal so quickly after battle? 'Cause magic. How are they able to communicate through jewelry? 'Cause magic. It's all about the characters. Abo, rough, robotic, ready. Mo, carefree, callous, courageous. Mistress Graven, daring, diplomatic, dominating. Betsy, academic, accountable, aristocratic. Nefara, ancient, assured, adrenaline junkie. Bruto, proud, prominent, protective. Fisty, independent, incendiary, invigorating. Roxy, superficial, scarred, secretive. Once you get to know this diverse crew of mythical miscreants, you'll be anxious to find out what trouble they'll get into on the next episode. Go to abogrizzly.com and order both halves of the first episode today.
Hey, everybody, Dirk Manning here, the writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Brave But Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now, right this moment, out of all the things we're going to be doing, you're getting to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the... where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot
Jazz
how to
hands. Jazz hands and
Have a good night.